improve educational opportunities for Illinois children. B2SI.org. 507, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This summer, everybody is talking about one person. And on August 22nd, we want to hear what you have to say about President Donald Trump. Join AM 560's Joe Walsh for the Summer of Trump as he welcomes Hugh Hewitt and Guy Benson to the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Join the debate as they discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly moments of the Trump administration. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/summer. Sponsored in part by Storlock and by Best Dental Group.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code CHICAGO.
Schrank Smoke & Gun is excited to announce their zero tax deal for all store-owned firearms, ammo, and accessories in August. The price you see is the price you pay. Plus, AM 560 listeners get a free box of range ammo with all firearm purchases. You already know Schrank's has Lake County's largest selection of new, used, and consignment pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, and full gunsmith services. And that in Schrank's humidors you'll find a great selection of your favorite cigars. But this August offer is huge. Zero tax on all firearms, ammos, accessories, and a free box of range ammo when you purchase a firearm. Find out for yourself why Schrank's is the firearm store generations of customers trust. Visit gun.org or call 877-662-4034. Like Schrank's on Facebook and keep up with Schrank's valuable series of employee product and service recommendations. Schrank Smoke & Gun in Waukegan, your family-owned gun store since 1964.
510. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. Back to the newly renovated Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center after a few weeks of moving around during the work. And there is a closure on Chicago's west side this morning after a major fire. Near Ogden and Drake, Ogden Avenue is blocked off between Central Park and Holman. The fire, we're told, has been put out. Firefighters still at the scene. There's plenty of cleanup and investigation, and of course always the potential for hot spots there. There is construction in Morton Grove rail crossing work scheduled to keep Oakton closed from Lehigh and Austin until Saturday the 26th. See mild delays now on inbound I-57, a little heavy approaching the merge, about a 2-minute delay. Bishop Ford also a little bit of a slowdown, Cottage Grove to the Rhine. Speeds are reduced with the wet roadways this morning in much of the Chicago area. Traffic is a service of Firestone Complete Auto Care. The technicians at Firestone Complete Auto Care know when a tuned-up motor meets a new set of tires, the road better buckle up. It's $70 by mail on a Bridgestone Visa prepaid card. You buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
You know, the lava lamp is fine, but the Murphy wall bed, that's just a little too much. A little too much renovation, my man.
Okay.
75 outside. We have clouds. As we look at your official Chicagoland weather forecast, just ahead of Dan and Amy in Chicago's Morning Answer. In the aircomfort.com Weather Center, here is our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Breezy and humid with sun and clouds today. A shower or a thunderstorm around with a high of 84. Wind gusts up to 35 miles per hour for the afternoon and up to 30 miles per hour in the evening. Otherwise, tonight, mainly clear, breezy, and less humid, low 65. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
75 at O'Hare. Next news at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
Are you sure your business is being seen online? Visit beingseen360.com to discover how being seen online can improve traffic, leads, and sales. beingseen360.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, question. Are you with Trump or are you with the Republican Party? Because it seems that there are fault lines that are forming. And a corollary to that question is if it becomes Trump versus the Republican Party, can either survive? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 646-36DA, turnkey.pro text line. And we talked about...
That's a tough question.
We talked about some Republicans that spoke out against Trump, mildly chiding him or pushing him to be more specific in his denunciations, like Cory Gardner over the weekend from Colorado.
Marco Rubio, John McCain, Lindsey Graham, the usuals. But now the Bushes, in a rare statement, George W. Bush and George H.W. Bush issued a statement, saying basically that they're just denouncing President Trump. They're denouncing bigotry and hatred in all forms. Not denouncing President Trump, but the statement denounces bigotry and hatred. Well, and that's a rare joint statement coming from the two former presidents.
Mitt Romney's tweet.
Oh, yeah, that too. Ooh. What'd you think about that? Well, do you want to read it first?
Yeah, Mitt Romney's tweet in response to yesterday's press conference, or Tuesday's press conference. No, not the same. One side is racist, bigoted, Nazi. The other opposes racism and bigotry, morally different universes. So this is Romney kind of taking it to the next step over from Marco Rubio's come for me last statement. This is really suggesting, please come for me last. The other side, the other opposes racism and bigotry. Are there white hats in this story? The story of the clashes on Saturday? Is there any? Are there good guys in this story other than the historical society folks that were kind of passive bystanders arguing about preserving Southern heritage with respect to the monument controversy? But I'm talking about obviously the white supremacists and the Antifa. That's what I'm talking about. Because it seems to me that Mitt Romney is saying the Antifa thugs oppose racism and bigotry and occupy some sort of moral high ground in this discussion. By the way, a discussion they won't have because they don't like discussions. They like imposing their will, and if you don't abide it, silencing you. I'm not sure what moral high ground that affords them. No, not the same. One side is racist, bigoted, Nazi. Yes. The other opposes racism and bigotry, morally different universes. Well, I just reject his description of the Antifa and the leftist thugs that we've seen present themselves throughout the country, on college campuses, and
here in Chicago yesterday.
In Charlottesville. Yes, right.
Right in front of Western and Belmont.
Yeah.
And there was, my friend works there, and he said there wasn't even a case that they said that they were there because a white supremacist was being tried and facing a judge. That was fake. They were just fixing for a fight.
50 activists. Yeah. Nice neutral language. This is from DNA Info.
Yeah, activists.
Gathered at the courthouse at Belmont and Western. They're just activists. I don't know why 3 needed to be taken into custody. They're just friendly activists. I don't know why they're wearing masks and,
bandanas over their faces.
Yeah.
Well, they were. If you see the video too, they're
fun uniform. But
this police officer is trying to arrest someone, and the whole group piles on to the police officer. Then more police officers respond to pull people apart, and next thing you know, it's chaotic.
There's also video of some of these activists accosting cars that are leaving the courthouse and spitting on the windows.
Yeah, classy.
Yeah. So this is a group that occupies some moral high ground. I'm curious about this. one of the things that there's been many things disturbing about what has happened and the reactions to what has happened since Saturday. One of them, you can suggest Trump was not as specific as he needed to be on Saturday, that he made the problem exponentially worse on Tuesday.
Monday was good, though. Yeah.
Moral equivalences and ahistorical comments. Those are the things I've criticized Trump for. It's a whole nother thing to defend Antifa. I don't see the basis for any defense of these individuals. The only defense, they're not white supremacists. Okay. That's not the same thing as being proponents of peaceful pluralism, racial tolerance, opposition to bigotry. They're bigotry across a whole spectrum of religious, with respect to religious affiliation, with respect to intellectual philosophy.
All I know is both.
The other opposes racism and bigotry. I can't get over Mitt Romney. I mean, this is a good example of kind of the surrender Republican and just the surrender American who is willing to give in to the mob if they've achieved critical mass on the virtue signaling. That's what I see happening. It happened to Tucker Carlson, too. We'll get to in a second.
312-642-5600 is our Turnkey.pro answer line.
John in Garden Prairie, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
You just need to stop. What you're doing is you're doing exactly what the left media wants you to do. Amy, with her liberal bent brain, started it. Knee-jerk reaction to Trump not denouncing something quick enough. Stop it. Why don't we talk about the rule of law and all the laws that Hillary broke, which if I did the same thing, I'd be sitting in jail.
Yeah,
no,
we talked. John. We talked about that. We talked about that for a year. We talked about it after the election. We've talked about the.
But you're still talking about Trump. You're still
Trump.
Here's the thing.
Okay, John.
Sam, please listen.
No, John. I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm not done yet. And then you can talk.
Okay.
Donald Trump is the president of the United States, and let me tell you something, John. And people that are knee-jerk defenders of Trump, Trump can do no wrong. No criticism of Trump will be tolerated. And that's why I want to hear from Republicans who are uncomfortable with Trump right now or maybe fleeing Trump, because both sides need to listen up to what the other is saying. Because my suggestion is that if Trump loyalists, without qualification, aren't interested in listening to what Trump voters, who are not necessarily Trump loyalists, have to say, you're not going to like where this ends. And if Trump voters, who are not necessarily loyalists, don't listen to what the loyalists have to say, you're not going to like where this ends. You want to talk about feeding Antifa. It's this inability to listen to a different perspective from somebody trying to get to largely the same ends as you. I'm not talking about the neo-Nazi scumbags. I'm talking about free market economics and some of the policies that Trump proposed, even though I disagree with some of them. But generally speaking, the things that, for example, he hasn't accomplished yet, like Obamacare, repeal and replace. Okay, John.
This is middle America, working class, which neither one of you are. I had no problem with what Trump said. I know what Trump means. I have no problem with Trump. He is doing what we want him to do, speaking. He's telling the truth. Okay? I'm here where I get up and I go to work every day and I work my ass off every day. We have no problem with Trump. It's you guys that don't get it.
Well,
you don't think that we work hard, that's an ancillary issue. But you don't think that he empowered the neo-Nazi group and white nationalists?
Like in your church,
John,
no idea what middle America is like.
John, you have.
Oh, please.
John, one person has to talk at a time.
Why isn't Hillary in jail?
John, who's in charge of the government? Who's in charge of the Justice Department? Is that a question directed to people who are critical of Trump or to the Trump?
Or to the Trump? And what you guys talk about every day and how you steer things.
John,
if steering things the way the left wants you to.
Thanks.
They're picking Trump apart every day.
Thanks for the call, John. John, you have to learn to let people finish a statement. We're letting you finish your statement. We're not going to do that. We're not going to talk over one another. That's not going to be tolerated here. We'll let people talk, but you're not going to talk over Amy and not let her talk, or talk over me and not let me talk. That's not going to work. And with respect to, Hillary in prison, is that all you got?
We've relitigated. We've tried.
Talk to Trump's Department of Justice. We're not in control of that any more than you are. You got to have more than why isn't Hillary in prison for the crimes that she committed. Yeah, I know. That's past post.
Trump supporters are passionate about him, and they don't like any critical rhetoric directed towards their guy. But I'm sorry, he brought it upon himself because he has no self-control.
It doesn't matter whether you think that perspective is right or not. If you're not Amy voted for Trump. If you're not listening to people like Amy who are uncomfortable with Trump's approach over the last 96 hours, myself included, particularly on Tuesday, then I don't know I don't know how you think this ends well. If you want Trump to be a successful president, if you want to see him advance the policies that he articulated on the campaign and has continued intermittently to articulate during his presidency. You think this ends well? You're just going to kind of try to come over the top and shout down people that are, generally speaking, fellow travelers that appreciate what you're saying? John in Garden Prairie about being a working class guy who's gotten it stuck to him from every direction by the ruling class. By the way, you don't have to experience something to comment on it. Yeah, you're right. I'm not part of the quote-unquote working class. And by the way, I don't even believe in classes because this is America, and we're not a case society. So stop using that parlance. That to talk about the parlance of the left. Somebody who's a Johnny Punch Clock one day can be a millionaire or more the next day. That's the greatness of America. So don't give me that. But I've been talking about the ruling class since I ran a fateful campaign for governor in 2009. So I'm not a Johnny-come-lately to the underlying issues that spurred the Trump presidency. We'll take more of your calls.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
312-642-5600 is our Turnkey.pro answer line. First, here's your forecast. Clouds and some sun. It's going to be humid out there and some thunderstorms in spots this afternoon, a high of 84 degrees. Then tonight, clear, breezy, less humid, a low of 65. And for tomorrow, it's going to be breezy with plenty of sunshine, a high of 81. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte. I hear you have new curtains, huh?
Yeah. We're back in the original Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center after some work was done around here. So hopefully things look better. Hopefully they sound better, too. On Chicago's west side, we have a closure of Ogden between Central Park and Holman this after a major overnight fire affecting several buildings. Fatality involved. This right near 18th and Drake, so there's still closures there. Expressways and tollways now seeing mild delays on inbound I-57, the Bishop Ford Freeway, and the inbound Rhine. And the inbound Stevenson now is just a little tight approaching Lakeshore Drive. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content complementing what we do on this show. It's our digital platform with original long-form interviews in our Against the Current series this week featuring Senator Ted Cruz. Yeah, you want to check that out. As well as podcasts of our Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics. Man on the Street, Follow the Logic segments. This week focused on people trying to follow their logic in support of or opposition to single-payer government-run health care. 60 seconds of commentaries from yours truly. 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes, the Illinois Opportunity Project, and our new series, Heart of the Matter, which includes professional women speaking colleague to colleague about the salient issues of the day. It's all at upstream-ideas.com.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-4133. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant, too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-4133. Again, that's 1-800-600-4133.
Hey, President Trump just tweeted, publicity-seeking Lindsey Graham falsely stated that I said there's moral equivalency between the KKK, neo-Nazis, and white supremacists. And people like Miss Heyer? Such a disgusting lie. He can't forget his election trouncing. The people of South Carolina will remember! Exclamation point.
Gentlemen, if you've been thinking about treatment for low testosterone, perhaps Lindsey Graham has, be sure to do your homework and go to a medical provider that you can trust that specializes in testosterone therapy. That's why I went to Low T Center and got my levels checked. It was quick and easy, and now they have a great new location in downtown Chicago, right on the Mag Mile. If you've noticed a decline in energy, stamina, or motivation, you may have low testosterone. Low T levels make you feel tired and grumpy, can even raise your cholesterol and cause weight gain. At Low T Center, services covered by most health insurance. You find out your results in minutes. So, guys, if you've been thinking about treatment for low T, choose my friends at Low T Center, now with a location in downtown Chicago on the Mag Mile at 625 North Michigan Avenue. Call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's 312-239-3427. Call now or visit them online at lowtcenter.com.
You're unique, so why is your mattress one size fits all? Because a custom mattress costs thousands, until now. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of HelixSleep.com, where you can buy a mattress online, customized for you, for hundreds of dollars instead of thousands. Go to HelixSleep.com, answer a few simple questions, and we build you the most comfortable mattress you'll ever sleep on. Shipping is free, and you have 100 nights to try it out. Go to HelixSleep.com/talkradio and get $50 off your order. HelixSleep.com/talkradio.
Finding great people to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's time to try ZipRecruiter, where 80% of jobs get a qualified candidate in just one day. How? Using powerful technology, ZipRecruiter matches your job to the right candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio.
AM 560, The Answer.
I'm really excited. I spoke with Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio, well, the former sheriff. And good news, President Trump is going to Phoenix on Tuesday, and I think that he's going to publicly pardon him at the Phoenix Convention Center on Tuesday night.
Well, that'd be interesting. And then all will be forgiven with Amy.
Yeah.
Imagine that. All right, coming up at 5:38, we'll take your calls. And guess who wants the Democrats to talk about racism every day? Every day. 5:38.
And later, world leaders are responding to President Trump. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 74 degrees. Rain is holding off right now, but it's very humid outside. Winds out of the south-southwest at 10. Alt-right groups and white nationalists are not getting any love from President Trump's chief strategist, Steve Bannon. Bannon called the right-wingers losers and a collection of clowns. Those are his words in quotes. In an interview published yesterday in the liberal magazine, The American Prospect. Bannon also says the media is playing up the alt-right too much. Vice President Mike Pence back in D.C. today as the president deals with fallout over his comments concerning the deadly violence in Virginia. Pence is cutting his South American tour short yesterday in Chile. Pence telling reporters traveling with him that he and Trump have been clear on the tragedy in Charlottesville, Virginia. Meantime, Dr. Ben Carson this morning is thanking his Northern Virginia neighbors for their response to a hateful incident.
Our house was toilet papered, and then they had painted F Trump on it as well.
The housing secretary yesterday saying his Vienna, Virginia home was vandalized while he was out of town and thanked his neighbors for actually coming over and trying to remove what he calls that hateful rhetoric. He posted on Facebook that all his neighbors took the high road and everyone could learn from their example. Governor Rauner using the Governor's Day festivities at the State Fair yesterday to blast Democrats for their opposition to his changes to a school funding reform bill. Meantime, Illinois House Speaker Mike Madigan is setting a meeting for next Wednesday when there could be a vote to try and override Governor Rauner's changes to a school funding bill known as SB 1. There will be an attempt at a compromise vote on Friday. Madigan claims the governor really doesn't want one. Chicago police conducting a death investigation after a man was found dead in a burning building on the city's southwest side. Body was discovered this morning in the vacant structure in the 1800 block of South Drake. Authorities are blocking off the corner of Drake and Ogden as investigators work that scene. Chicago sports last night. Javi Baez was sitting on third base when the Reds uncorked a wild pitch, and he scampered home in a 7-6 Cubs win over the Reds at Wrigley. Anthony Rizzo helped the Cubs out early with a first-inning grand slam. Dodgers score 3 in the bottom of the ninth, knock off the White Sox 5-4 in L.A. Sox did have their hitting shoes on, especially Nicky Delmonico with a pair of home runs. The News is a service of Back to School Illinois. Back to School Illinois, providing school supplies for children in need. And you can help by making a donation at any neighborhood currency exchange or at b2si.org. Back to School Illinois, working to improve educational opportunities for Illinois children. b2si.org. 5:33 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says give credit where credit is due.
What's getting done? Do we have a conservative on the Supreme Court? Do we have great jobs numbers? Do we have great economic news? Do we have 1.1 million fewer Americans on food stamps under Trump? Did you know that? You know the media is not going to give credit where credit is due when it comes to anything related to President Trump.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Come to Cabela's Great Outdoor Days with special events and giveaways, plus doorbusters for 5 hours only, starting 8 a.m. Saturday, August 19th. Shop in-store and at Cabela's.com.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore, the chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch. It looked awful, but thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours, and when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business, and it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's summer schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A, or visit CertaPro.com, that's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life.
5:35. Let's get that all-important update on the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. A full look at your commute with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On Chicago's west side, Ogden Avenue is closed between Central Park Avenue and Pullman after a major overnight fire affecting several buildings. At least one fatality reported this near 18th and South Drake, and Ogden is shut down there. The Edens Expressway looks good at this hour. No delays to report yet on the Kennedy. Express lanes are open inbound. On Eisenhower, just a little congestion around 25th Avenue. We'll call it 30 minutes. Thorndale to downtown. Outbound still fine at 29. Inbound Stevenson delays start at 1st Avenue. 39 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound fine at 34. Inbound Ryan, 18 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 23 minutes from I-80 to the merge. Outbound fine at 15 minutes. Northbound Tri-State, a little heavy approaching the Eisenhower. The other tollways are good. Northwest Indiana's clear. And traffic is a service of Cabela's. Get ready for fall. Time for you to head to Nature's Classroom. First, come to Cabela's Great Outdoor Days with special events and giveaways, plus doorbusters for 5 hours only, starting 8 a.m. Saturday, August 19th. Shop in-store and at Cabela's.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business. Since 1935, clouds and sun today. Breezy, warm, humid, thunderstorm in spots, high 84. Mainly clear, breezy, less humid overnight, low 65. Breezy, pleasant tomorrow. Sun and clouds and 81. Currently, we have 74 degrees. Next news at 6. Breaking news as it happens. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next, on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Rising, hosted by Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute. Sunday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So Mike Scott had his newscast. Steve Bannon speaketh. And interestingly, he speaketh to Robert Kuttner, who's a columnist for the liberal rag American Prospect.
Yeah, but apparently he didn't know that it was on the record when he spoke with him.
I don't believe that.
That's what CNN was saying this morning. And Steve Bannon said that he did not believe that it was on the record.
Right. I don't believe that.
But I read excerpts of the information he gave him. It was very candid.
This to me seems like Steve Bannon wanting to pretend that he didn't know he was on the record for the purposes of getting this out and for the purposes of getting this out through a known left-wing outlet. I think it's a little Steve Bannon sleight of hand. But whether it was that or it was him forgetting to go off the record, it doesn't matter. Here's what he said about the alt-right. Ethno-nationalism, it's losers. It's a fringe element. I think the media plays it up too much, and we got to help crush it. These guys are a collection of clowns. The Democrats, the longer they talk about identity politics, I got them. I want them to talk about racism every day. If the left is focused on race and identity, and we go with economic nationalism, we can crush the Democrats. Steve Bannon, right? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, 646-36DA, turnkey.pro. Text line. You want to see those midnight vigils like you saw in Charlottesville? That's the way to keep the Democrats focused on race and, by extension, gender identity politics, while Trump and Bannon and team focus on economic nationalism, bringing companies back, inshoring companies, attracting foreign investment like Foxconn up in Wisconsin, and so on and so forth. Oh, Randy and Sandwich, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
All right, guys. I think it's come the time where we need to call things what it is and stop candy coating it. I'm going to try to prosecute John's case from earlier.
Okay.
I think we need to just say right now, Amy, your stake is John McCain. You flip-flop weekly on back and forth if you like Trump or you don't like Trump. And I believe what has to happen now is Trump needs to break loose with the Freedom Caucus and just start a conservative party. And Dan, I hate to say it, but you were for Scott Walker, then you went to Rubio, and you just
No. I went from Scott Walker to Ted Cruz.
I was a Rubio fan to John Kasich.
Oh boy, we'll get to Kasich.
I'm a hot mess. It's okay, Randy.
I'm sorry, Randy. Go ahead.
Did you wait until like the final hour practically before you finally said, okay, Trump's the guy we're going to go with? Dan, yes or no?
I was with Ted Cruz all the way through the primary. Yeah. So
okay, I stand corrected there. I thought that you were basically Scott Walker, and then I thought you moved to Rubio, then Ted Cruz, then to Trump.
No, Rubio. I never dated Rubio. It was
they didn't even speed date.
Scott Walker and then Ted Cruz till Trump. It was clear Trump was going to be the nominee, which, by the way, I thought right after the Iowa caucus and said so on this show, even while I still supported Ted Cruz, because, sometimes I'm wrong. But and then, Trump's the nominee. I wasn't a never Trumper or anything like that, obviously, but that was my evolution during the 2016 campaign.
Because this is where I think this is going to eventually go. Trump is going to break off into whatever that's going to be. If it's the Freedom Caucus and the people that are conservative and the people that are going to stand with the establishment, and then eventually one side is going to have to pick the other side off totally or partially or whatever. Because right now, no matter what he does, every day it's being criticized, not only by the left, but by the establishment Republicans. So we just need to break this into three pieces and just deal with it. And then eventually one side will proceed over the other by taking out seats in different states or whatever, and then that's who's going to be the declared winner.
Well, in the meantime, you're going to have the re-rise of the Democrats, I suspect, if you have that kind of fracturing, don't you think?
No, I don't actually, because here's what I think. They're already going to destroy themselves by just the way that they are normally. We're destroying ourselves slower than they are. So if we just come to terms with it and let one side win this civil war, then finally there'll be progress moving forward, because right now it's a stalemate. All we do every day is pretty much like, look at the Obamacare thing. Look how slow drag that is, and then look what John McCain did at the very last moment.
Yeah.
So we're not getting anywhere. All we're doing is kicking the can down the road. So we might as well fight this battle out to the end, let one side win. And then my opinion is, if the establishment wins, you just got more of the same of what the Democrats have been doing all the time. If the conservative side of it wins, then finally you can start advancing the football down the field.
All right, thanks for the call, Randy. So is Randy right that it's basically where we are at now is we're Rocky Balboa and Apollo Creed. We're both on the canvas, and we're trying to grab the ropes to the first one to climb up and stagger to their feet. Is that where it's at? McCain lover, Jacobson. Robert in Northbrook.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
This is just one person's opinion. I think you take every Republican and every Democrat that goes from the president all the way down to the secretary out for an afternoon of electroshock, and then let them go back in and calmly be able to discuss things.
All right. What about what about full frontal lobotomies? That will calm them down.
Well, no, just a little bit of electric shock. And I think that would calm the waters a little bit, and then they could actually go back in and do things that would help our country.
You're a restrained gentleman, Robert. Okay, thanks very much. Appreciate the call. Philip on the Northwest Side.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Amy, I'm so sorry they called you McCain. That was horrible. Next time, just tell them you're fair and balanced.
Okay.
The ACLU all my life has been card-carrying members of the American Communist Parties. And the Nazis and all their stupid marchers are always National Socialists, which means they're to the left.
Right.
In all my years of the Teamster Union, all the people from Black Lives Matter and from the Ku Klux Klan, including the Grand Wizard, and La Raza, they all go into the Teamsters and into the Democrat Party. So I don't know how this is ever right and left. It's never been right or left. It's been the left and the extreme left bouncing back and forth and finger pointing and trying to proclaim that somehow the rest of us conservatives are all Nazis when we're not. We are nationalists, yes, but it's nothing to do with being far right or far left. This is a staged thing. And as far as our Republicans and our Democrats, way at the top, they're all controlled by the CFR and Trilateral boys. And once your listeners figure that out, then they won't be so angry with you. You guys have a wonderful show.
Okay, thanks for the call, Philip. Randy in Elkhorn, Wisconsin.
Hey, I know what Trump says, and I know what he means. And if I can't support him, where do I go? What other choice do I have? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Randy. I mean...
Well, do you think someone's actually going to have that painful conversation with President Trump saying, you know what, in 2020, we're going to want you to sit this one out? We have a new leader. It sounds very House of Cardish.
Well, it also sounds very premature to talk about 2020. He has a year before an election, before his midterm elections. He has agenda items that must be pursued and ostensibly accomplished if he wants to be successful. This isn't the time to look to 2020. This is the time to look to Friday. This is a day-to-day exercise.
But you think he's upset the Republican base so much that they're not going to vote with him on anything?
There's going to be, what he's done this week is further impair himself. There's no question. But the conversation is about how he recuperates and how he works with Republicans. If Republicans on the Hill feel even the need to work with him, many, because of his political capital being so limited at this point, many will not feel the need to work with him. Many have already demonstrated they don't feel the need to work with him per all of these Obamacare repeal and replace votes. It's gotten worse since then. Now, can he kind of reestablish himself? Yeah, but the conversation I assume General Kelly is having with Trump is about tomorrow and the next day, and between now and the end of the year when the holidays set in, and what is achievable here and what needs to be done, including and most specifically by him, and what needs to not be done by him to have a chance at achieving anything that he stated he would like to achieve, that he can't do simply with the presidential pen and a phone. That's the conversation. Chuck and Delavan.
Hi, Chuck from Delavan. I agree with Amy, and I agree with you. We're sort of in a boat together here that's bad.
Sinking, sprung a leak.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that when Paul Ryan, my congressman, threw Trump and threw Pence out of that party, the Pumpkin Party up in Elkhorn, this last year, and that definitely showed that okay, the establishment's here. We don't care about Trump, and that never ever really got back together. They still have it. And you see Romney, he shouldn't make a comment, and the Bushes shouldn't make a comment. And I talked to you the other day about them stealing all this bronze. I went to the library and I looked. There's like 14 statues that have come down.
Yeah.
And they're stealing the bronze from all this area. Thank you. That was my comment.
Thanks for the call, Chuck. Dan in Itasca.
Hi. I listen to your show a lot, and also, I don't know, Dan, do you read a lot of these, like Breitbart, the articles? Do you ever read the comment sections?
Rarely. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do intellectual damage to myself. But why?
Well, actually, I think you find a lot of good comments on there. And what I did in the election was I started making memes, but they weren't just like funny memes. They were very in-depth, very thoughtful, and I posted them up on Flickr, and I put articles. So I do a lot of thinking on this. And what I think was going on with Trump's comments, I think he really did hit the nail on the head, because the Nazis, who's defending the Nazis? The Nazis have been a group of idiots for decades. We remember how they marched in Skokie, a predominantly Jewish neighborhood with Holocaust survivors, and how many decades ago was that?
1978.
So the Nazis are just a bunch of kooks. But what is this Antifa? They've been going all over the country, creating violent protests. And this apparently, these people are paid, because like when that anti-Wall Street
Occupy
thing started up.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Occupy.
Occupy. When that started out, I remember seeing a report. A reporter used an infrared scan for the tents they set up in Central Park in the wee hours of the morning. And guess what? He found out. Nobody was in the tents. You know where they were? You know where he found out they were staying overnight? In all these expensive Manhattan hotels.
Yeah, I remember that story. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Republicans or the conservatives or Trump movement. They don't have these paid professional agitators going around the country. No, but the Democrats do. And it's very suspicious. Why did Antifa come to Charlottesville?
Right.
The idiotic Nazis what they're doing is they're trying to grab a real issue, which is the tearing down of the history of the South. Southerners are very proud of their heritage.
Yeah, Dan. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate the call. I get where you're going. All right, we'll close out the hour with Scott from the West Side.
Hi, Scott.
Hey, Dan and Amy. Thanks for taking my call. What the left does is they control the thoughts and the ability of our freedom of speech in the country. Even I have been afraid to call and voice my true opinion, because I'm afraid that I have a very distinctive voice and that people will hear me and maybe they'll be offended by it. And this is what they're doing. The the Republicans that came out against Trump's statements are spineless. And Trump had these ups and downs during his campaign, and yet in the end, he prevailed. And I predict that that's what's going to happen with his presidency, that he's going to have these ups and downs, but in the end, he will prevail. And I'm confident of that. Trump is a winner, and he thinks like a winner, and he doesn't stop. He's the Energizer Bunny.
Thanks for the call, Scott.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
Oh, I had my joints all ached. My sciatic nerve was really bad. Like 10 hours, my eyes were so tired and heavy and almost burning. And then when I woke up in the morning, there was this nagging pain. I mean, it hurt to open them. And just in a week, like, I don't have the nagging pain anymore. My joints stopped hurting, and I'm in wood season. I'm logging wood right now, and I'm not hurting. So that's, like, amazing for me. I'm usually really suffering. It's pretty effective. And so now, like I said, my husband and I are both taking it, and he even said his joints aren't aching as much, and he's feeling better.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Hey, it's time for a little R&R. Relax and relaxation, courtesy of ChicagoRadioDeals.com. Escape to Wisconsin with the overnight stay package for the Schuster Mansion Bed and Breakfast in Milwaukee. You can spend the night in Molly's room, their 2-room luxury suite with a private bath and concierge service. It includes breakfast in the Victorian dining room and fresh chocolate chip cookies. Yours for only $85 a couple. Need to stay closer to home but want a night out? I got to go to this. Have you ever been to Comedy Sports Improv, Dan?
I have not.
Oh, it's appropriate for all ages. You can bring your kids. Oh, wait, you don't have kids. You can bring your fake family, though.
Good.
Tickets normally $44 a pair, only $22 at ChicagoRadioDeals.com. And be sure to get your car ready for summer cruising with a deal from Fuller's Car Wash of Elk Grove Village. A full-service car wash package includes wash, vacuum, windows, dash, wipe down, an $18 deal for just $10. Fun and adventure is waiting for you. Only at ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
Change in the market shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. In fact, since World War II, we've seen a correction on average about once every 18 months. That's why Arlington Capital Management developed proprietary tools that help them to see what's beyond your investment horizon. Like an experienced ship captain uses tools to avoid stormy weather, Arlington Capital Management uses tools to guide you through market corrections before it's too late and help us decide when to capitalize on opportunity. Call Arlington Capital Management today at 855-471-5796 to learn how their active management systems can help you. Each day, they actively explore the market, our economy, and all the variables that affect your investments. Stormy markets never cloud their vision. The professionals at Arlington Capital Management use their tools and experience to guide them. Call Arlington Capital Management today at 855-471-5796 for a financial review. The number again is 855-471-5796 or learn more at arlington-capital.com.
If your roof is needy, if your roof is leaky,
call Grumweedy.
If your roof isn't right after it's stormy and shingles are curly,
call Grumweedy.
If your roof is looking needy, call Crumweedy. This is Mark Olson of Crumweedy.
And I'm Greg Olson from Crumweedy. We are a third-generation family-run business. We've been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953.
You really can't do that unless you do really amazing roofs. We share the same conservative values as you, and we really want to do your roof. Here's what you can expect.
First, no high pressure. You make the choice. Whatever option you choose, count on getting a roof that lasts at a fair price.
You see, application is really the key. We follow the manufacturer's specifications so your warranty is intact. You know, a lot of companies don't do that, and that could really void your warranty.
No horror stories here. The roof you need that will fix your problems. When your roof is needy,
call Grumweedy.
For your needy roof, go to myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
5:57. Let's get an update on the morning commute. The Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Inbound Kennedy Expressway. It's slow now from the River Road toll to Canfield. 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound Fond at 20. Edens is clear. Inbound Eisenhower delays starting around Wolf Road. It's 35 minutes. Thorndale to the post office downtown. Outbound 30. Inbound Stevenson delays start at Harlem. 46 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Still fine outbound. Ryan, 25 minutes. 95th to downtown. Outbound 18 with roadwork at 87th. Now clearing out of the 3 left lanes. I-57, 18 minutes. I-80 to the Murray, Division 423. Northbound Tri-State heavy from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Traffic is a service of Staples. With free next-day delivery from Staples, you can run your business like a pro. Go to staples.com for the office essentials you need delivered next day free. On eligible items only and orders over $49.99, placed by 5 p.m. Excludes weekends and holidays. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
At 5:58, time to check the climate of your business with aircomfort.com, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Chicago's Morning Answer continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, a blend of sun and clouds. Breezy, warm, and humid with a shower or thunderstorm in the area. High 84, mainly clear, breezy, and less humid tonight, low 65. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
Currently 74 at O'Hare and 74 along Chicago's lakefront. The news, a service of LifeLock. It's morning, and here's an eye-opener. LifeLock can see more threats to your identity than you can see if you're just monitoring your credit. And if something happens, a U.S.-based specialist can work to fix it. Go to lifelock.com, promo code RISK to save 10%. 559 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott, and here are the stories we're following at this hour. Chicago police conducting a death investigation after a man was found dead in a burning building on the city's southwest side near Drake and Ogden. Man charged in the murder of his father in a Canaryville neighborhood. Don J. McNamara Jr., charged with murder and intent to kill or injure, has been denied bond. First day of school delayed for Country Club Hills students. The Department of Public Health has issued an emergency stop order to halt construction work on 3 classrooms. Day 1 is being delayed until Monday. Cubs beat the Reds in comeback fashion 7-6 at Wrigley Field. Dodgers score 3 in the ninth, knocking off the White Sox 5-4 in L.A. More Dan and Amy after Fox News. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
Shame with an exclamation point. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's how President Trump ended the final of 3 tweets a half hour ago, taking shots at critics over his Charlottesville comments. He wrote, "The public is learning even more so how dishonest the fake news is," adding they totally misrepresent what he says about hate and bigotry. And he called Lindsey Graham a publicity seeker, tweeting it's a disgusting lie when the senator stated that he said there was no moral equivalence. There was a moral equivalence between the KKK and people like Heather Heyer, who was killed during the Charlottesville violence. Phoenix's mayor is upset.
I'm disappointed that President Trump has chosen to hold a campaign rally as our nation is still healing from the tragic events in Charlottesville.
Democrat Greg Stanton urging the president to delay the event, but last night the president urged his supporters on Twitter to show up on Tuesday night, giving a link for tickets.
I hear freedom.
That was a vigil last night in Charlottesville. Hundreds marched carrying candles, not torches, walking the same path white nationalists took in their march the night before last Saturday's violent confrontation. There was a moment of silence for Heather Heyer. Despite the recent back and forth on the monuments, there's been a change in what Virginia's governor thinks about Confederate statues. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has more live.
Well, Dave, Governor Terry McAuliffe has changed his mind about the removal of the statues and is encouraging local governments and the state's General Assembly to take them down and put them in museums. Richmond Mayor LeVar Stoney has also reversed his earlier position as well, saying the city will reconsider doing just that.
Removing monuments doesn't change race relations in our city.
The issue has been debated for a long time in Richmond, which was the capital of the Confederacy during the Civil War, and it's got 5 Confederate statues along a major thoroughfare, Dave.
Tanya, South Korea's president says he's confident there will be no war on the Korean Peninsula. President Moon Jae-in also says he'll consider sending an envoy to Pyongyang if North Korea stops its missile and nuclear tests. Fox News, fair and balanced.
This summer, everybody is talking about one person. And on August 22nd, we want to hear what you have to say about President Donald Trump. Join AM 560's Joe Walsh for the Summer of Trump as he welcomes Hugh Hewitt and Guy Benson to the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Join the debate as they discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly moments of the Trump administration. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/summer. Sponsored in part by StoreLock and by Best Dental Group.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth, now heard regularly in 18 countries. What percentage of you listening to this commercial often say to yourself, what could I do to make more money, or how can we increase our business? I'm guessing that's most of you. Have you ever heard knock on the door and it'll open? Well, my friends at Income Store have doors you can open that can help you or your family make more money, or doors that lead to an increase in revenue for any business of any size. Income Store has 2 main doors on their website. These doors lead to over 2,000 revenue-generating ideas and products. Although a few of their products are pricey, 90+% of their growth formulas are delivered free or nearly free. Income Store's growth products and ideas have been publicized and featured on Forbes, Inc., USA Today, and recently the Biography Channel. Could your household or business use a revenue shot in the backside? Are you sick of your checkbook talking back and saying no? If so, you need to knock on the doors of IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Americans have the right and advantage of being armed, unlike the citizens of other countries whose governments are afraid to trust the people with arms. James Madison, Federalist Papers. Our founders recognized that the common individual needs to be trusted, but with trust, there must be common sense and personal responsibility. This is especially true of handguns. If you've been thinking of making a purchase, visit the Range at 355. The Range at 355 is so much more than a state-of-the-art shooting range. It is a fully stocked showroom carrying a variety of firearms with brands like Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, HKs, and Glock. The Range at 355 offers Illinois concealed carry license training and a full curriculum of classes designed to teach you what you need to know to be a responsible gun owner and concealed carrier. Their professional team will train you like a pro. Founded by patriots like you, providing professional guidance and courteous instruction. Trust your skills to the pros at the Range at 355. For range hours and class info, visit range355.com. Range355.com.
The war on depression is over.
You win.
Depression, with all the drugs and side effects, the endless counseling, the frustration with life and relationships.
The war is over. You win.
In a few short weeks, your life will change.
It's TMS therapy.
Over 1 million people have been treated, and the results are nothing short of outstanding. It's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield and Medicare.
Most drugs and other treatments just mask the depression.
TMS treats the cause, so you can win the war with your depression. Remission or cure.
Depression gone.
Get a free consultation at one of the HPR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin. Ask questions.
For you or someone you love, safe, revolutionary, effective treatment for depression.
Let depression recovery begin. HPR centers.
800-604-0208. 800-604-0208.
Go to endmydepression.com.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. If you're in the market to buy a home right now, you know how challenging it is out there. You're competing against cash buyers, so it's critical that you work with a reputable, established mortgage company like Quicken Loans. By getting pre-approved with us, sellers will know that you're serious and ready to close when you make that offer. Here's one more way to get the home you want. You could buy a $150,000 home with as little as $1,500 down with our 1% down payment option. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.19%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Are you sure your business is being seen online? Visit BeingSeen360.com to discover how being seen online can improve traffic, leads, and sales. BeingSeen360.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I want to get to Antifa because they're being given a pass here that they don't deserve. And frankly, they're being sanitized by the likes of Mitt Romney, and that is untenable. But first, yesterday on the Today Show, Ohio Governor John Kasich held court. And
My guy.
all you have to do is put a camera in front of John Kasich and he starts talking, which is exactly what happened when he was on with Matt Lauer and Savannah Guthrie. They go to John Kasich without a question, and John Kasich
he just starts talking.
Fires off.
Ohio Governor John Kasich has been a vocal critic of President Trump's and ran against him for the Republican nomination. Governor Kasich, good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Pathetic, isn't it? Just pathetic listening to this and hearing these marchers. Think if you were a 8, 9, or 10-year-old getting ready to go to school like they are in Ohio, and you happen to come from a Jewish family, or if you're African American, and you hear this kind of hatred, and we know about bullying that goes on in the schools, and what are we doing to our children? And to not condemn these people who went there to carry out violence and to somehow draw some kind of equivalency to somebody else reduces the ability to totally condemn these hate groups.
Well, let me ask you.
I know about them, Savannah and Matt. I know about them.
And
He's not taking questions. He's going to talk.
he's not done. Stop
Yes.
interrupting John Kasich with your pesky questions.
It's terrible. You know, this is terrible. The President of the United States needs to condemn these kind of hate groups. Think about what you have seen. You know, as one of the reporters said, reminiscent of what we saw in Germany in the 1930s. The president has to totally condemn this. And this is not about winning an argument. This is about the fact that now these folks apparently are going to go other places and they think that they had some sort of a victory. There is no moral equivalency between the KKK, the neo-Nazis, and anybody else. Anybody else is not the issue.
Well, nobody else is the issue. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Is that right? I agree, and I said it yesterday, about the special category because of our nation's history that white supremacists occupy, and that needs to be demarcated, and that needs to be explained. But nobody else is the issue? No, I don't think so.
Well, you don't want to give free rein to extremists. And, you know, he mentioned Germany. And in Germany, you cannot fly the Nazi flag. You cannot have a swastika sticker on the outside of your house. So, but I'm saying when people around the world see what's going on and people waving the Nazi flag, I mean, it's a little disconcerting.
Wait, which is disconcerting? The lack of free speech rights in Germany, or seeing the Nazi flag here?
Seeing the Nazi flag here.
So do you want us to
ban the Nazi hate symbols?
You want us to suspend the First
Well, they've already
Amendment?
taken down the Confederate flag off of state capitals. They did that.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing as suspending the First Amendment, because what's the First Amendment? It's a restraint.
Freedom of expression.
It's a restraint on government from curtailing speech, not speech that metastasizes into conduct, but speech. So remember, it was the ACLU who agreed with and advocated for the free speech rights of Nazis, both in the case that everybody keeps referring to, of course, the Nazis desiring to march through Skokie in 78 here, ultimately settling on Federal Plaza, and as well as the Nazis, the white supremacists that marched in Charlottesville. So are you saying we should adopt the German model?
No, I mean,
No.
I don't want to get rid of our freedom of
No.
expression and speech, but I'm just saying in Germany, you can't, there's no Hitler statues around. There's
yeah.
but you
But
can't
that's-
fly, you cannot show the swastika. But you know what I did see a
Well,
lot
but-
of?
well, one-
real quick, I saw the Confederate flag on so many German trucks. It was very strange.
It's a proxy of some sort. Well, one point of order. Germany produced Hitler.
Right.
With popular support. So, yes, there is thuggery in the streets, and there are people with hateful ideologies employing violence in advance of those ideologies, and that is repugnant and it can't stand. But it's not the beer hall pooch. So Kasich is getting a little far afield, as he is wont to do. I mean, remember, this is the same guy who invokes the Bible to defend Obamacare Medicaid expansion. Whew. So he's a struggle oftentimes.
He wouldn't even go to the RNC. I'm still mad at him.
Right, in Cleveland.
Right, in his own backyard.
So the moral equivalence piece of it, though, I think is meritorious. And then this other point that he made, even if you don't like John Kasich, listen to the substance of it and address it. You can take a shot at John Kasich if you want, of course, because we believe in your free expression, too. But
312-612-5600. I could hear him talk all day. What else did he have?
But at least address the substance of what he said here.
See what's happening? The presidency is being reduced to another CEO job. The presidency is the most important job in the country. And there is a bitterness setting in that may not be able to be removed. And look, I want him to do well. I want Donald Trump to understand it's not about winning an argument. It's about bringing the country together. It is not about having some argument trying to justify these people on the left who went to a sweet town like Charlottesville for purposes of bringing violence.
It's interesting. He said these people on the left. I don't know if that was a Freudian slip by Kasich or not, but the key part of what he said there for me, in addition to saying he wants Trump to do well and it's the most important job and all that, is this isn't about winning an argument. This is about bringing the country together, and it's about pulling the coalition partners together that you need to move the policies that you said you would affect if elected. So I think Kasich has a point there. And so Trump continuing to tweet this morning about this and responding to the responders on topic to give this story more air, to try and be right, to try and vindicate himself in the minds of his critics with respect to what happened Saturday and his responses to it over the course of the ensuing 72 hours, I don't think is productive.
Oh. CNN this morning saying he's defiant. He stands by what he said on Tuesday.
Well, he's always defiant, and I'm not...
There's no regrets. That's what the inside source.
I'm not asking for regret. I don't want him to talk about it at all anymore. I don't want him
he was
to talk
out of the
about
limelight yesterday. Not the limelight, but he was...
Well, he's not when he's tweeting. Mm-hmm. And because that's every tweet is a news story. So that specific thing that Kasich said, sometimes he didn't make that qualifier, but I'll just add it. Sometimes it's not about winning the argument. It's about bringing the country together, or at least enough of the country to do what you said you were going to do to improve the quality of life in the country. And is what Trump has done over the last 4 days accomplishing that? Berlin, South Side.
You know why it's so easy for them to make Donald Trump a target? And for all of them to pile on, the Lindsey Grahams, the Mitt Romneys, the guy with the face I can't stand, John Kasich. It's so easy for them to pile on to him because of white guilt.
Yeah, that's right. That's part of it.
Donald Trump won't be shamed. He won't be guilt shamed, and he doesn't feel guilty. And it pisses them off. But I love him for it because he doesn't have anything to feel guilty about, and he's just telling the truth. And the people can't handle it. The left can't handle it, rather.
All right, Verlin, thanks for the call.
Very succinct. I like that.
Verlin is always a value add. Lewis in Dayton, Texas.
Morning, guys. How you doing this morning?
Morning.
First of all, I want to say, I'm from Chicago originally. I moved down to Texas because of all the taxes and the way everything's going in Illinois. But, down here in Texas, you see a lot of, black people with Confederate flags. They wear Confederate shirts, and they embrace the Southern history, and they have the rebel flags and all that stuff. And I don't understand why people, if it's freedom of speech and and letting everyone have their freedoms, I don't understand why they're taking these people's freedoms away. A lot of these people down here, and like I said, that are African American or black, whatever you want to call them, they have these flags hanging from their homes, and nobody says nothing.
Well,
that is their right to do it.
Well, that's right, but nobody is suggesting that. Some people are suggesting, I shouldn't say that, but at present the discussion is not about, not allowing people to express themselves or express themselves through symbols on their private property. It's about what is expressed through symbols on public property. So that's a different thing.
Yes, sir. But at the same time, that's where the freedom of speech comes in. That's where all that comes in. These protesters have their rights to protest, And don't get me wrong, I served in the military, and I don't agree with the neo-Nazis, white supremacists, or any of these other groups.
Right.
But you know what, though? I fought for those rights for them to be able to express their opinions no matter how much I disagree with them. And, it was stated before, if nobody shows up to these rallies, if people ignore them, they will go away because they're not getting the attention that they want. And that goes the same thing for Black Lives Matter and all these other groups. If you ignore them, they will go away. But I did want to make one more comment. I don't know if you guys saw yesterday on Facebook, there was a video, I think it was over in Virginia, where they supposedly said they were allowing the Antifa flag to be flown over the American flag. That really offended me.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Thanks for the call, Lewis. Perfect segue. Lewis is one of our players here.
Yes.
Yeah, he's just got that sixth sense of knowing where we're going. He's absolutely right. In Hennepin County.
Oh, Minnesota.
No, Virginia.
Oh, Hennepin County, Virginia.
Yeah. Government officials apparently allowed Antifa to raise one of their flags outside of the Hennepin County Government Center.
What?
I'm not kidding. And there's
Is there a picture of
there's
it?
video of it too. Beverly Hills Antifa. I mean, talk about boy.
Well, you can't go any more left. You'd be in the ocean.
Beverly Hills Antifa. Boy, we don't have enough time in a 4-hour show to deconstruct that organization, Beverly Hills Antifa. But nonetheless, Virginia governor and Charlottesville mayor allowed Antifa flag to be raised. Thank you, comrades. #resist.
Can you imagine if they raised a Nazi flag?
Oh, no, this was...
Oh, I see the flag. Ooh.
Maybe this is Hennepin County. Maybe this is Minnesota. I see Minneapolis police responded to this as well.
Yeah.
I just saw the video. Hennepin, yeah.
Well, there's Hennepin County. That's
okay.
Where Minneapolis is.
Okay, so let's.
I live there.
Maybe it's
maybe they let them raise the flag there.
Hennepin County Government Center, just across from City Hall. Nearly 100 people looked on and cheered. No, but this is Virginia governor and Charlottesville mayor allowed Antifa flag to be raised. So this is Hennepin County, Virginia. Okay, sorry for the confusion. But anyway,
but regardless of where.
So what about that? These are thugs. You're allowing their flag to be raised at a government center? These are the people who, literally burned down Berkeley just about to prevent Milo Yiannopoulos from speaking there, to try and disrupt the Heather McDonald from speaking at Claremont McKenna, at Middlebury with Charles Murray. I mean, at Evergreen State, across the country. You're raising their flag at a government center?
Well, but it doesn't work both ways. I mean, can you imagine if they wanted to raise a Nazi flag?
Can you imagine? No,
any flag.
What is this Mogadishu? Is this warlordocracy? People raising the flags of these misfit bands of thugs? What the hell is this?
Well, remember when the LGBT they wanted to raise the rainbow, the gay pride flag at the police department in the city of Chicago, and they said no. Only the American flag goes on that flagpole.
Well, I agree with that.
But there's
principle,
different rules for different groups.
But even if you wanted to subordinate another flag, whatever, the Cubs flag when they win the World Series or something, whatever. We're talking about fascists. Mm-hmm. They can call themselves whatever they want. I judge them by their conduct. Thugs. David in Lake Forest.
Morning. When Trump made his initial statement on Saturday and he said all sides to blame, I immediately thought, okay, he's setting it up so he can attack the left. And that is what he has done. And the mainstream media and the middle-of-the-road politicians cannot handle the fact that he is just really, really going after the left for what they are. And people aren't used to an elected politician doing that, and they cannot handle it.
Thanks for the call, David. Just on Antifa, they also showed up to Heather Heyer's funeral.
Oh, no.
A group of quote-unquote anti-fascist protesters armed with purple shields and bats showed up to the Wednesday funeral.
Her favorite color was purple.
Heather Heyer.
Yeah.
Did she also favor shields and bats?
No. She wasn't even carrying a sign when she was killed.
The activists claim they showed up because the police won't protect the people. So you want to turn over law enforcement to Antifa since you're turn over county buildings to them? Is that where you want this to go? Jeff in Mundelein.
Morning. The left's plan, or the left's idea of bringing everybody together is Chairman Mao's plan, playbook to communism. This is not the road we want to go down. These thugs, organized thugs, rile up these college students, so that's their mass crowd behind them. It's all organized. And Amy, my new nickname for you is the Queen of Hearts, because everything with you is off with their heads, off with their heads.
Thanks for the call, Jeff.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
It was Minneapolis.
So that's Hennepin County, Minneapolis. So why are they thanking
Well, it was
McAuliffe and the Charlottesville mayor, Signer?
No idea.
But
they
in solidarity.
Yeah, in solidarity with those in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Well, whether it's Hennepin County, whether it's Minneapolis or Virginia, it's the same principle. But okay.
Yeah, it's still a government building. It should not have been done. Forecast for today: clouds and sun, breezy and warm with some thunderstorms in spots. A high of 84 degrees. And then tonight, less humidity is going to be breezing through here. A low of 65. And tomorrow, for Friday, it looks good, breezy, pleasant, some sun, some clouds, and a high of 81 degrees. Let's get into our newly renovated Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's the boss, Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy and Dan and McHenry. You've got a crash at 120 in Chapel Hill. There's a vehicle on its roof there. Naperville Deal is blocked. Mineola and 59 with a stalled freight train. On the west side of Chicago, Ogden Avenue is closed. Central Park and Homan after a major fire. Edens, 19 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. Kennedy, 24 minutes, O'Hare to downtown Alp on 21. Don Eisenhower, 36 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. Alp on 31. Stevenson Heavy, 49 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Still okay outbound. Ryan is 27 minutes, 95th to the Loop. I-57, 21 minutes, I-80 to the Merge. Bishop 422. Northbound Tri-State, we see delays from I-80 to the 163rd Street toll, from Cicero to the Mile Long Bridge, and from the Reagan tollway to North Avenue. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Apparently, across the street from the Minneapolis City Hall, they were also lighting fires. But Minneapolis police tweeted the protesters have dispersed, no arrests made. Good to know that setting fires and such is...
Let's ignore arson now.
Not illegal, depending on your political persuasion. Upstream-ideas.com, premium content complementing what we do on this show each morning. It's our digital platform with original long-form interviews in our Against the Current series. This week featuring Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Very interesting, wide-ranging interviews. You'll want to check that out. Heart of the Matter, it's our new series with professional women speaking colleague to colleague about the salient issues of the day. My 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries, Pat Hughes' Dollars and Cents, opines, as well as podcasts for Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics, and follow the logic man on the street segments this week, saying if people can follow the logic for their support or opposition to single payer. It's all at upstream-ideas.com.
Hello, everyone, and here we go again with Karen Lewis and the Chicago Teachers Union demanding more money from the Chicagoland taxpayers. Well, I say enough is enough. The teachers get paid from the property taxes that homeowners pay every year. If the teachers union gets more money, that means your property taxes are going to go higher. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent representative for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other health insurance carriers. For months now, I have been telling you about purchasing health savings account PPO plans that will cost you approximately 40% less in monthly premiums than you're currently paying now. Well, the same thing applies to the teachers union. I can show the union that they can purchase a more comprehensive health insurance plan that is in full compliance with the Affordable Care Act and will cost the taxpayers up to 40% less in monthly health insurance premiums. For more information, you can call me at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
School has started for many of you, and school starting next week and then after Labor Day for CPS. And if you were not satisfied with your son or daughter's public school, maybe because of transgender bathrooms, bullying, or Common Core, maybe it's time to make the switch. This school year, send your child to a private school, and you can make that switch for half the price off regular tuition when you visit halfpriceschools.com. At halfpriceschools.com, you'll find dozens of local private schools that are offering vouchers for a full year of tuition at half the price. There's no catch. There's schools in LaSalle, Peru, Oak Lawn, Bensonville, Roselle, South Holland, Chicago, Antioch, just to name a few. But the school year has begun, so don't wait another day and don't settle for a public school that isn't right for you and your child. Visit halfpriceschools.com. That's halfpriceschools.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm 75 years old, and I don't eat enough vegetables or fruit. And this is a great thing to do. And it seems that I have more energy. It seems that I take that, and I take a lot of blood pressure pills and what do you call it, cholesterol. But my doctor tells me, he said, no, you might cut the dosage down on your pills because what are you taking? I said, Balance of Nature. He said he didn't know what it was, so I told him, I said it's fruits and vegetables condensed into little pill form. He goes, well, whatever it is, it's doing you a lot of good.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
The number one fear amongst retirees today is running out of money in retirement. And that's with good reason. Because the last thing you want to be is 75 years old, full of life, and flat broke. Hi, this is Tom Fortino, host of the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard every Saturday at 9 a.m. here on AM 560. Today, we're living longer than ever before, so your retirement savings has to last 2, 3, even 4 decades. So how do you safely generate more income in retirement without risking everything you've worked for in the stock market? And what can you do to help ensure you never run out of money in retirement? The answer's in our free retirement income planning packet. It's packed full of little-known strategies on how to generate income in retirement, getting the most from Social Security, minimize taxes, and reduce the risk of outliving your income. You don't need to take unnecessary risks to generate income in retirement, and I'll prove it to you. You have a lot more options to generate income in retirement. You just didn't know they existed until now. Call the Alpha Wealth Group, 630-519-4742, right now to receive your free report. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh no, President Trump has tweeted, the public is learning, and then in parentheses, even more so, how dishonest the fake news is. They totally misrepresent what I say about hate, bigotry, etc. Shame! Exclamation point.
All right, I will see that tweet and I'll raise you an Iowa Hawk tweet. This is the best distillation I've seen. There are two sides, those who are willing to excuse any behavior by anyone who agrees with them about Trump and those who are not. Yeah, that covers everybody. Just about. I like it.
Well,
That's
coming up
pretty good.
on Chicago's Morning Answer, the ladies are back.
You hear those engines revving. That means Diamond and Silk are ready to come out of the pit. And we will talk to them. And then also a little bit later after Diamond and Silk, turns out 25% of adults injure themselves landscaping their private parts. Amy will have some safety tips for you.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Get that wax pit ready. Here's Mike Scott.
Father of 4 swimmers.
Oh, so you know.
Oh,
you know.
Oh, I know about the injuries that happens when the shave down happens in February for the boys. Wow. I'm telling you. Just telling you.
It just got uncomfortable.
It's not uncomfortable. 74 degrees, mostly cloudy skies. People who came from Colorado to Florida to gather for rallies spoke out against racism yesterday, and they'll do so again today. Rallies following last night's candlelight vigil on the campus of the University of Virginia in Charlottesville, and hundreds also came together in that city for a memorial service for the woman killed in weekend violence.
No father should have to do this, but I love my daughter. And as I look out on you guys, you loved her too. She was kind of hard that way. It's hard not to love.
Heather Hehr's father, Mark, Senator Ted Cruz this morning, distancing himself from President Trump's comments on the white nationalist-fueled violence in Virginia.
You know, the president speaks for himself.
Texas Republican telling reporters that All white supremacists who gathered in Charlottesville over the weekend were racists, bigots, and in his words, idiots who should be denounced by all. President Trump did sign a bill yesterday that expands benefits for veterans. It's called a Forever GI Bill. It eliminates time limits for vets to use education benefits. Previously, there had been a 15-year time limit. Attorney General Jeff Sessions continuing to push back against sanctuary cities. Speaking in Miami yesterday, Sessions says there is a growing trend of violent crime in sanctuary cities like Chicago.
These policies do far broader damage to the country than many understand. At its root, it is a rejection of our immigration laws and a declaration of open borders.
He praised Miami for backing away from sanctuary city policies, but said Chicago is not following suit. An investigation is underway this morning at the Cook County Jail after a loaded handgun was discovered in a trash can on jail property. Chicago police are conducting a death investigation after a man was found dead in a burning building on the city's southwest side near Drake and Ogden. First day of school delayed in Country Club Hills. The Illinois Department of Public Health issues an emergency stop work order for 3 classrooms. Calls were made to parents explaining that as the school had undergone summer construction repairs, including new air conditioning, more renovations were needed. Day 1 delayed until Monday. Cubs beat the Reds 7-6. Dodgers over the White Sox 5-4 in L.A. The news is a service of Ashley Home Store. Summer's last splash, but it's the beginning of big savings at Ashley Home Store's Labor Day event. 30% off or 72 months, no interest on select furniture and mattress sets going on now only at Ashley Home Store. This is home. 6:33, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager sees misdirected fighting from the left.
One of the reasons they are hysterical about global warming, because they need something to fight. And when you don't fight evil, you must fight something else. I have seen this my whole life. It has been a rule of my life. Those who don't fight real evils fight made-up evils or little evils. When you don't fight evil, it's over.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Come to Cabela's Great Outdoor Days with special events and giveaways, plus doorbusters for 5 hours only, starting 8 a.m. Saturday, August 19th. Shop in-store and at Cabela's.com.
Convenience, confidence, value. Experience all three when you bring your European vehicle to Midwest Performance Cars for maintenance and repair. BMW, Porsche, Audi, Mercedes. We make it convenient for you. Our drop-off procedure has most customers on their way in under 5 minutes, and we feature complimentary Uber or Lyft service to get you where you need to be. With our tablet-based digital inspections, you'll be confident that we only recommend service your car needs. We email or text your vehicle's condition report with pictures and video so you can make an informed decision. And our 3-year, 100,000-mile parts and labor warranty provides unmatched value. We perform outstanding service and we stand behind it. Read our Google reviews and see for yourself. In Chicago at 1385 West Lake Street, book your appointment online at MidwestPerformanceCars.com or call us at 312-432-9492. And coming this summer, we will be opening our second MPC location in Northbrook, Illinois.
It is 6:35. Check out the roads in the newly renovated Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. New drapes, Jim Talamonte, or are those Roman waterfall blinds in there this morning?
We keep things fairly bare to the bare bones here. No, nothing too fancy. But the good thing is we have some new lights and some new equipment, so things look better and hopefully sound better too. Northwest Indiana, we see slight delays on westbound 8094. Same old delays in some places. This is from Burr to Clyde. It's not bad right now. There's some ongoing construction in the area. Eden's inbound, a little heavy as usual. Peterson to Montrose. 21 minutes, Lake Hook to the junction, outbound 19. The Kennedy is 32 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 27. Inbound Eisenhower delays start at Manheim. 45 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, outbound 38. The Stevenson is now 57 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 43. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, heavy. First from I-80, the 163rd Street toll, and very heavy from Cicero to the Mile Long Bridge, and it's slow from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Traffic is the service of Dove Men Plus Care. You hear that 91% of guys that use Dove Men Plus Care antiperspirant recommended. Dove Men Plus Care user Daniel said his armpits aren't the worst thing at the gym anymore. Make the locker room a better place. Pick up some new Dove Men Plus Care for your gym bag at your local retailer. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business. Since 1935, clouds and sun this morning. Breezy, warm and humid this afternoon. The high near 84. Breezy and less humid overnight, low 65, currently 74. Your next news update is at 7. Continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Wine Time Radio. Every Saturday at 5 p.m. on AM 560, explore the wonderful world of wine with host James Crooker and Rob Lehner.
Coming up next, it's me, Mike Gallagher, right after Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We've got Diamond and Silk at the starting line, so you better buckle up. But before we get to the ladies, some rather emotional reactions to President Trump, including on Fox News and Fox Business.
Yeah, Fox News yesterday morning, they had Caldwell. He's a...
Gianno
Caldwell. He's from this area. He's from DuPage County. He's from your neck of the woods.
Yeah, I know Gianno.
Yeah, African-American conservative who teared up when talking about President Trump and his response on Tuesday.
You know, I come today with a very heavy heart. Last night I couldn't sleep at all because President Trump, our president, has literally betrayed the conscience of our country, the very moral fabric in which we've made progress when it comes to race relations in America. He's failed us. And it's very unfortunate that our president would say things like he did in that press conference yesterday when he says, well, there's, good people on the side of the Nazis. They weren't all Nazis. They weren't all white supremacists. Well, Mr. President, good people don't pile around with Nazis and white supremacists. Maybe they don't consider themselves white supremacists and Nazis, but certainly they hold those views. This has become very troubling.
And then later on...
wait a second. Yeah. Here's the problem with what Gianno had to say, and this is the problem of Trump's lack of precision with language. When Trump said there were good people, I mean, it's open to interpretation, but it can be interpreted, and others have suggested, there are people that were part of like the local Charlottesville Historical Society who were there just to protest the removal of the Robert E. Lee statue because of historical preservation interests, not because they were neo-Nazis. And he could have been referring to those people who were not necessarily palling around with white supremacists or otherwise affiliated with the white supremacists in any way. So that's,
But that's up for interpretation.
Well, again, the lack of being specific gets Trump in trouble.
Then we go to Outnumbered on Fox News. Melissa Francis, she broke down while discussing Trump's remarks.
I know Melissa Francis, too.
Yeah.
Can I tell you this? I am so uncomfortable having this conversation. And that's what this woman said before this, because I know what's in my heart. And I know that I don't think anyone is different, better, or worse based on the color of their skin. But I feel like there is nothing any of us can say right now without being judged.
Do you want to call Melissa and tell her it's going to be okay?
Look, then speak who you are. It's not that complicated. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be judged. Let people know what you think.
She later tweeted that she's embarrassed that she got emotional, but it's a raw time right now for everyone.
It is, but speak candidly. If you know who you are and there is nothing about you that in any way promotes or believes in the promotion of bigotry of any sort, then speak. That's what we need. We need people speaking. Don't be afraid, and don't be afraid to be judged. Don't allow yourself to be cowered by forces of intolerance in whatever form they come. I don't think it's that complicated. I know people are afraid because they be judged, be called a name. I'll tell you, I know two ladies that aren't afraid to express their opinions.
No. You have a T-shirt that says Diamond and Silk.
I do
too.
have their T-shirt, and I wear it proudly. They are Diamond and Silk. They are the hosts of The Viewer's View. They are punditresses extraordinaire, and they join us now. Diamond and Silk, thanks for being with us again. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
So, well, I just want to get your unadulterated reaction to the last 4 days of this back and forth over what happened in Charlottesville and what the president's response has been.
Listen, what happened in Charlottesville was a travesty. Let me just say this here. We denounce any type of hatred, bigotry, and racism from the KKK, neo-Nazis, white nationalists, all of that. We denounce that. We condemn that. You know, I think the president did a phenomenal job when he came out and he denounced it. He denounced all hate.
That's
just
right.
like George Bush and George Walker Bush and his father, they denounced it the same way too, without mentioning any names at first. Before Donald Trump had the facts, before the president had the facts, he had to say it a certain way because he didn't know what was going on both sides.
And allow me to correct you. President Trump did say specifically what he was talking about. The news have chopped up the video, and they're not telling the entire story and saying exactly what President Trump did say.
Well,
Donald Trump did specify that these fine people were not of these Nazis and neo-Nazis and KKK. You have to listen to the entire interview of what he said.
Because there were other groups down there
That's right.
that was protesting the fact that they didn't want the statue to be taken down.
Right.
And they were not part of the KKK and the
That's
right.
neo-Nazis. So it's not fair to group all of those people.
But Diamond and Silk, I did watch it. I don't recall the president being specific in terms of providing an example to say there were good people there. These people, for example, he just made the reference there were good people there, and I think it creates some confusion, as it certainly did with Gianno Caldwell, who I know is otherwise a good guy and a conservative, and he didn't have the takeaway that you guys have.
Well, let's not be confused.
Right.
There were other groups down there that was not part of no neo-Nazi or any hate group that just didn't want the statue to be taken down. And it wasn't just listen. It was. Do you know it was black and white people? They called themselves, I think, the Patriots or the Patriots. They didn't want the statue to come down. Okay.
Right.
So let's not. And the media, what they did was they put everybody together on that side as neither neo-Nazi and KKK, and that's unfair and unfortunate.
And they made it seem like that's what President Trump
I
said.
need to make another point. The American Civil Liberties Union is the one that fought for the rights for the KKK and the neo-Nazi in them to be in the streets with torches and acting a fool. So where does the buck stop? Who gave these people a permit to spew that much hate?
The government, the local government did. Yeah.
Okay, so if the government did that, that means the government can't break the law, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah, but the
government cannot encroach upon their free speech, even though it's hate speech, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, all right. So if they had a permit to be down there to spew their hate speech, which we were all appalled, then we cannot go and bash those people and try to beat those people up for that, or we will get in trouble for communicating threats and threatening somebody with a deadly weapon.
That's right.
We will get in trouble. So how do we handle this hate? Let me tell you how we handle it.
Okay.
Let me tell you how we handle
All right.
this type of hate when we see it. Instead of going to it, we need to form something to cry out against it, to show love and unity, and not take sticks and balloons with urine and go down there and try to beat these people up.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, they have the First Amendment to even spew that nasty.
That's right, and you can't bring hate to stop hate.
Now
You can't do
imagine
that.
if Antifa and the Black Lives Matter would have stayed and had their little rally in another park. Then we're going to promote unity. We're not going to promote this hate. None of this other stuff, it wouldn't have happened.
We wouldn't even know about it.
So, ladies,
We wouldn't know because these groups, they hold this kind of stuff all throughout the country all year long. We don't even know anything about it. And who made this bigger than what it was? I blame the mayor. The mayor and the vice mayor of Charlottesville need to be fired. And whoever told the police to stand down, they need to be fired. Even if it was the governor of Virginia, he needs to be fired. He told the police to stand down because people got hurt on both sides. People got hurt and people got injured, and there's a girl dead for no reason. She lost her life for no reason. It's unfortunate.
Well, she lost her life because a registered Republican and a neo-Nazi decided to use his car as a vehicle and plowed into a crowd.
Registered Republican. Would you back off the silliness, honestly?
It's the truth.
It's so unfortunate. And you know what? And the guy that did that to her, he deserves. Well, I don't. They probably not gonna give him death because they probably gonna view this as second-degree murder. But he deserved every horrible thing that he get. The whole situation was horrible. What I'm saying is, I'm on this. Listen. When I turned on the TV and saw people with torches, I was appalled by that. I didn't know how to feel about that.
Right.
Who gave these people the permission, the right to go and spew that much level of hate? Who did that? And do we have a right to say, oh, you can't do that in this country? Where does the buck stop is what I'm saying. What do we need to do as Americans together? How do we stand up against that hate? Instead of pointing the fingers, it's me and you, we need to come together. All of us. Oh, we don't like this hate. This hate cannot be tolerated. But when saying all of that, can we deny these people their freedom of speech?
No.
Will we get in trouble if we do that?
Well, yeah.
I mean,
so that's that's
because we walk on a slippery slope.
Yeah, that's clear. I don't think anybody. Well, I mean, there are people suggesting it, but that's not where the real center of the argument is in terms of limiting their free speech. Because, as you mentioned, the ACLU, and this is not the first time this has happened. This has happened throughout our country's history, notably in Chicago in 1978. We've talked about that. That's not the issue. The issue is the response that you're talking about. What is the collective response? What is the response from political and civic leaders? And, are we going to hear a lot of hypocrisy? The same people who don't refer to Bernie Sanders volunteer who shot up that softball field in Charlottesville, but who say registered Republican.
You always said he was a Bernie Sanders volunteer.
It's absurd.
That's how we described him. They even use it in the campaign ad.
It's absurd.
But keep in mind, though.
And it's not true, and you're demagoguing the issue, and you should knock it off.
I'm just stating a fact.
Then I'll tell you what, then I'll be the hypocrisy police for you. For all the times everybody who commits a violent act is never referred to by their political registration or everything they've ever done because you're cherry picking it for the purposes of essentially casting all registered Republicans as white supremacists in waiting.
No,
and
we're not.
It's actually
I'm a registered Republican, and
it's
I'm
irresponsible. That's what it is. It's irresponsible. Speaking of registered Republicans, Diamond and Silk, this registered Republican, Mitt Romney, you remember he ran for president a couple times. He tweeted, "No, it's not the same. One side is racist, bigoted, Nazi. The other opposes racism and bigotry. Morally different universes." Does he have it right?
Let me break that down. Because this is what I did some research. What people don't know is you had somebody out there wearing white sheets, but you also had somebody out there wearing black hoods, black sheets, okay? You got somebody that's trying to intimidate, manipulate to dominate, but the other side, Antifa, tried to manipulate, intimidate, and dominate, and both of them believe in violence. So when President Trump denounced hate, he denounced all hate. One hate ain't no better than the other. And then here is the deal. This is the big deal. You got the Antifa and the Black Lives Matter going out to fight for the rights of all of the other Americans by denouncing the KKK and what they spew. But the Antifas and the Black Lives is the same people that spew that type of rhetoric to people like Diamond and Silk and people like Omarosa and Katrina Pilson and Lynn Patton and other people like that.
And it's really amazing on how they want to fight against hate, but they hate our president.
They hate the president. They spew those kind of names, calling us the N-words and the coon words and all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
See, hate can't beget hate. Hate can't drive out hate.
That's right.
If you are an American and you're trying to stand up to bigotry and racism, what you need to do, you can't do it with hate. You can't do it with violence. You have to do it with love.
That's right.
You have to unite and not go and try to fight those few people that have that ignorant, nasty ideology.
Hey, Diamond and Silk, I saw you yesterday on Twitter. Michael Cohen, Trump's attorney. I don't know if you saw this. He tweeted out, as the son of a Holocaust survivor, I have no tolerance for racism. Just because I support POTUS doesn't make me a racist. And then he put pictures of himself with African Americans, and there's a picture of you three together. Is that offensive to you in any way?
No, it wasn't offensive to me because he was telling his story.
That was heartfelt.
You know, it is heartbreaking to me to hear the left-wing media and some of these celebrities call anybody that voted for the president is racist or a neo-Nazi. I don't know nothing about no neo-Nazi. I know I love all people. I'm not a racist. So it's offensive and appalling to us for them to paint us and put us in a box.
That's right.
That's
unfair. And with all of the bad and derogatory names that black people spew to Diamond and Silk, two black ladies, do that make them a black supremacist?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
please, get out of here with all of that hate.
Hate is hate, just like a lie is a lie. The president denounced all hate.
All of it.
And listen, some of these groups is rising up in this country talking about they for helping people. No, these people want to create havoc on other people's lives. They want to silence free speech. They want to silence the speech that they don't like. So that means if I talk about the 45th president of the United States and you don't like it, you can come hit me upside my head with a stick. Then what happens?
And be cautious removing all of these statues, because what's going to happen when the opposing side come back and want to remove the Martin Luther King statue?
Then
what's going to happen with that?
And another thing, these statues represent the Confederate veterans that owned slaves and that wanted slaves to be here in America. We shall never let the Democrats forget that. The Democrats were the ones that created the KKK. The Democrats were the ones that wanted slavery, owned slavery, and didn't want slaves to end. The Democrat, the bloodstain is on the Democrats' hand. So stop removing these statues because you don't want nobody to know your nastiness in history.
That's right.
They are Diamond and Silk. There's nobody like them. Diamond and Silk, host of The Viewer's View. Thank you, ladies, for joining us again. Always a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
And on this point about Bernie Sanders, I mean, seriously, every time it's been brought up, I've said, just for the record again, so perhaps you can internalize this, that this is not to suggest all Bernie Sanders supporters are assassins in waiting. It's absurd.
Right, and I'm not suggesting that all Republicans are racist and violent.
Why are you a registered Republican without context? It's cheap shotting. That's what it is.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Keith Peters in for Lou Dobbs. 2 presidential advisory panels disbanded and body scans coming on LA mass transit. Those stories next.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers. If you owe the IRS or state back taxes and cannot afford to pay them back, there's good news. Due to the financial hardship many are facing in today's economy, the IRS has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative. Qualifying for this program will resolve your tax problem, end all collections, and possibly reduce your back taxes by up to 90%. If you are facing wage garnishments, liens, bank levies, audits, or payroll taxes, it's not too late. Your circumstances may qualify you for this special program, protecting your savings and your assets. If you owe the IRS or state back taxes and cannot afford to pay them back, there's no need to worry anymore. Call the hotline at Victory Tax Solutions to see if you qualify and potentially save thousands. For this free information, call 800-297-9738. 800-297-9738. That's 800-297-9738.
President Trump has pulled the plug on 2 of his White House advisory committees in the wake of CEOs from several companies resigning over the president's most recent remarks about Saturday's violence in Virginia. The Manufacturing Council and another panel have now been disbanded by the president. A pilot program is underway on Los Angeles subways and mass transit for passengers to be screened by airport-style body scanners to detect explosives and firearms. The first in the nation's security screening effort may be expanded to other U.S. cities if successful. Economic reports ahead today include the latest jobless claims, an update on e-commerce retail sales, and new figures on industrial production. Please join us for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. I'm Keith Peters for the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Hey, there's a really good reason why MyPillow continues to be an important sponsor of our station, and it's because my listeners continue to buy MyPillows. So I hope you're having a great summer, and if you don't already sleep on a MyPillow, August can be even better. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the absolute best deal available anywhere. It's the 50% discount on the MyPillow 4-pack. That includes 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows. And you can move the fill to give you the exact support you need. I love it because you can wash it and dry it. They're hypoallergenic, made here in America, using only American labor. And you get a 10-year warranty who believes in their products so much that they give you a decade-long warranty. And there's also a 60-day money-back guarantee, so really you have nothing to lose. In August, get your 50% off the 4-pack by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy, or visit MyPillow.com. That's MyPillow.com, promo code Amy.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, your dental health. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants. Get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Look, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants. And that's why you need to see Dr. Norouzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Norouzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants brings.
This is Dr. Norouzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics, 630-232-7400, 630-232-7400, or just remember, implantsforme.com, implantsforme.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had some ulcer issues on my leg that I had from Vietnam. It would erupt on occasion of periods of stress. When I was taking juices, these ulcers had disappeared, but I was not able to get good quality fruits and vegetables to make good juices. And, these ulcers came back. But since I've been taking the fruit and the veggie capsules, these ulcers again have subsided.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Napa know-how.
The Napa Legend battery does legendary things, like starting your car when the heat index hits $125, or making sure your AC stays running like a gazelle. And now, when you buy a Napa Legend battery, you'll get a prepaid Visa card by mail worth $15. $15 back and a new battery? That's not just legendary. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 8/31/17.
Worry less with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Oh, I'd be a nervous wreck if my daughter just got her license.
You know, Liberty Mutual actually helped me relax a little bit.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, with roadside assistance, Liberty Mutual is there to make sure she won't get stranded. Don't know what I'd do without it.
Sounds better than the alternative.
Which is?
Keeping her home until she's 30.
Visit us online to get a quote. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Optional 24-hour roadside assistance coverage. Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Bill Kristol breaks bad on Tucker Carlson, and Tucker Carlson breaks bad back. We'll have that exchange because it's instructive at 7:07.
And will the president's comments make diplomacy harder on the world stage? But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, a boy fatally shot in Jeffrey Manor has been identified. Cubs walk off on a wild pitch. And WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
One senator's a flake, another's a publicity seeker, and the media's dishonest. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump unleashes on Twitter again, much of it about the reaction to his Charlottesville reaction. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the president is blasting those criticizing his comments on the violence in Charlottesville. He called out South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, describing him as publicity seeking and accusing him of falsely stating that he said there's a moral equivalency between racists and the people like the mother of a young woman killed last weekend. The president is also going after his favorite target, the media, saying the fake news is totally misrepresenting what he says about bigotry, etc., ending with the word shame. Dave.
Rachel, the president also tweeting Arizona Senator Jeff Flake is toxic, weak on borders and crime, a non-factor, writing he's glad Kelly Ward will run against Flake, who was among the Republicans considered never-Trumpers. President Trump being urged not to hold an event in Phoenix next week.
The city's Democratic mayor calling for the president
to cancel it, saying, quote, "I am disappointed that President Trump has chosen to hold a campaign rally as our nation is still healing from the tragic events of Charlottesville."
Fox's Todd Pyro. The president, in response, urging his supporters on Twitter to go to the rally next Tuesday. That was in Charlottesville, Virginia last night. Hundreds holding candles at a vigil, walking the same path as white nationalists in their rally last week before the deadly violence over the weekend that left a woman dead. And they held a moment of silence for Heather Hare. President Trump's chief strategist, Steve Bannon, has given a rare interview telling the American prospect white supremacists are losers, a collection of clowns, and a fringe element. Bannon's been a lightning rod for critics as a former leader of conservative Breitbart News. Bannon also said there's no military solution for North Korea, and the economic war with China is everything. If we continue to lose it, we'll never be able to recover. Fox News, fair and balanced.
74 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, winds from the south-southwest at 10. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. On AM 560, The Answer, the governor used the Governor's Day festivities at the State Fair to blast Democrats in Springfield for their opposition to changes to a school funding reform bill. Meantime, Illinois House Speaker Mike Madigan is setting a meeting for next Wednesday when there could be a vote to try and override the governor's changes to a bill known as SB 1. An investigation underway at the Cook County Jail this morning after a loaded handgun was discovered in a trash can Tuesday. It triggered a lockdown for the majority of the day. Chicago police are conducting a death investigation after a man was found dead this morning in a burning building on the city's southwest side. The body discovered in a vacant structure in the 1800 block of South Drake. Authorities for quite a while blocked off the corner of Drake and Ogden as the investigation took place. The identity of a Chicagoan, a 16-year-old, killed on a basketball court has been named. Cook County medical examiner identifying that 16-year-old victim as Kejon Thomas. Police say Thomas was playing basketball with friends in Bradley Park around 4:30 in the afternoon when he was shot by two black men in a vehicle that drove away. Thomas lives in a different neighborhood, and the motive right now is unclear. It's been a year since DuPage County authorities recovered the body of a newborn baby girl left in a backpack, but they're still looking for the dead girl's parents. A landscaper found the body August 15th last year on private property in an unincorporated area of the county near Wheaton. And since then, police have come up empty in their efforts to find the girl's parents. Their investigation included tests that indicate the parents are Hispanic and the mother was taking medication to treat either epilepsy or bipolar disorder. Cubs beat the Reds 7-6 in comeback style at Wrigley Field. Dodgers scored 3 in the bottom of the ninth, beat the White Sox in L.A. 5-4. The news, a service of Boost Mobile. Switch to Boost and get 2 lines with 3 gigs of 4G LTE data per line for only $50. Plus, get up to 2 free LG X-Power phones, all powered by the fast and reliable Sprint nationwide network. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
If you're aged 59 and a half or older with the 401k plan and still working, stop what you're doing and call Arlington Capital Management at 855-471-5796. They'll help you actively manage your 401k, show you strategies to avoid major declines, and capitalize on opportunities. There are benefits with age, and this is one of them. At 59 and a half, you're entitled to new opportunities in the investment world that can dramatically improve your results and even lower your fees. Call 855-471-5796 now and take the first step toward getting more out of your retirement assets. The team at Arlington Capital Management proactively explores the market, our economy, and all of the variables that offset your investments. Call 855-471-5796 now for a complimentary consultation. That's 855-471-5796 or visit arlington-capital.com. You worked hard to accumulate your nest egg. Now, it's time to put your money to work for you.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Every day people ask me, Jay, did I miss out? Have the rates gone up? The answer is no. Rates are still low, and it's a perfect time to refinance your home, especially if your mortgage rate is higher than 4.25%. If you'd like to lower your interest rate and save thousands of dollars in interest without starting over on a new 30-year loan, a Quicken Loans Yorgage is what you're looking for. With our exclusive Yorgage, you can choose a term that works best for you, anywhere from 8 to 30 years. The rate today on an 8-year Yorgage is 3.25%, APR 3.75%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
7:06. Let's get a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On Chicago's northwest side, fire reported near the intersection of Fullerton and California. Watch for emergency vehicles responding. The west side, Ogden remains closed. Central Park and Holman after the early morning fire there. Eden's inbound delays start at Oakton. It's 29 minutes Lake Cook to Junction, outbound 23. Kennedy, 46 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 23 from Montrose, 21 on the Express. Outbound 45 to the airport. Eisenhower, 55 minutes Thorndale to the post office. 38 from Manheim. Outbound 49 to Thorndale. Inbound Stevenson, an hour and 3 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. 49 minutes from the Tri-State. Outbound 54 minutes to 3:55. Ryan is 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57 Bishop Ford, both 25 minutes from I-80 to the merge. Tri-State southbound, the 137 to 176. Northbound from I-80 to the 163rd Street toll. Cicero to the Mile Long Bridge. From Stevenson to Ogden and in pockets from the Reagan Tollway to Balmoral. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Breezy and humid with sun and clouds today. A shower or a thunderstorm around with a high of 84. Wind gusts up to 35 miles per hour for the afternoon and up to 30 miles per hour in the evening. Otherwise, tonight, mainly clear, breezy and less humid, low 65. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
75 at O'Hare. Next news at 7:30. Continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Are you sure your business is being seen online? Visit BeingSeen360.com to discover how being seen online can improve traffic, leads, and sales. BeingSeen360.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Dan Henninger in Wall Street Journal has a good piece today, The Politics of Pointlessness, about all the furor over the last 4 days. He writes, Charlottesville was a political riot. Is Charlottesville the future? Street protest has become politics du jour. Groups form constantly in the streets to chant slogans. America's campuses live amid perpetual protest. As the argument goes, these behavioral extremes have no relevance to or effect on the rest of our life. I'm not so sure. There have been a series of events lately that suggest the most basic requirements of intellectual or political seriousness are losing ground inside institutions that once provided ballast against the extremes. He references the firing of James Damore at Google, for example. He goes on to say, to write, traditional politics is being overtaken by a cult of self-referencing, what I would call condemnation Olympics. From the nonstop street protest to what's going on in Washington, everything now is just a selfie. Is he right? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. And we've got a local pastor who's fitting right into the description of the landscape offered by Daniel Henninger.
Yeah, Pastor James Dukes. He's written a letter, Dan. So now the ball is in Mayor Emanuel's court. He wrote a letter asking him to remove the names of 2 presidents who owned slaves from parks on the South Side, Jackson Park and Washington Park. He actually wants the George Washington, that bronze statue that's at 51st and King Drive. He wants that removed. And because he said it's not appropriate for those African Americans who predominantly live in that side of town.
It represents, on one hand, a hero to some, a forefather, a revolutionary. But then for us of African American descent, it represents a person who owned 317 slaves.
Do you think the average person, though, who looks at this statue and when they're in Washington Park, thinks of slavery with President Washington?
Because that's the lack of information and knowledge, and people said we could use this statue as a way of teaching history, but all our history books never decept the president as that.
So he wants, are you ready for this? He wants Jackson Park to be renamed to honor former Mayor Harold Washington, and Jackson Park obviously to be renamed for Reverend Jesse Jackson or possibly singer Michael Jackson.
That's not a joke, right?
I know, I shouldn't be laughing. It's not a joke. That's what he's
No, I mean, it is
suggesting.
a joke, but he's not joking.
No, he's not joking.
Jesse Jackson Park.
Uh-huh. Or Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson Park.
Yeah, so then you don't have to get rid of Jackson Park.
How about Reggie Jackson Park?
I know.
What about LaToya?
Oh, yeah.
Where's her park?
But Jackson Park is going to be right next to the Obama, presidential library. Maybe they could rename it Obama Park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe
that was a suggestion too.
Sure, all good suggestions.
But if we get rid of George Washington statues, are we just going to rip up our $1 bills because he's everywhere?
Well, this is.
I mean, really, what's next? The money, currency,
the monument in D.C. This is consistent with what Al Sharpton had to say too about the Jefferson Memorial, which is. He's not necessarily saying it should be raised, but it shouldn't be supported by the federal government. Okay. And so this is where Tucker Carlson went on his show the other night, where he talked about essentially the idea is eradicate the history of the founders, relegate them to status of illegitimacy because of their transgressions of owning slaves, and there's no defense to that. And in so doing, you can then delegitimize the founding documents of this country that were authored by those individuals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And thus you can reshape American society because there'll be no constitutional parameters for conduct. There'll be no reference points. We just start afresh at date certain in 2017 or 2018 or whatever date that the mob sets to remake America in their image, under their rules, with their cultural dispositions. That's what Tucker Carlson argued. I don't think that point is out of bounds. I think that's a worthy discussion point. That generated a tweet, or series of tweets, from Bill Kristol at the Weekly Standard. We've had him on the show.
Yeah.
Kristol, neocon. But Tucker Carlson worked at the Weekly Standard for Kristol for 5 years, as he mentions in the clip I'm about to play. And Kristol suggested that first Tucker Carlson rationalized Trump, and then he rationalized slavery. And Tucker Carlson didn't take kindly to that characterization.
Hysteria has supplanted rational debate, where the purpose of political argument is no longer to explain your beliefs, but to highlight what a morally upstanding person you are, what a virtuous guy you are, usually by contrast with your opponent, who is, by definition, evil. It's childish, obviously, but for many people, it's pretty tempting. Even 64-year-old men with Harvard degrees fall for it, apparently. But part of the problem is also the medium. 20 years ago, when Bill Kristol had something to say, he had a magazine to say it in. He talked through ideas with his friends, then he spent hours writing a piece that expressed ideas precisely. There was thinking involved in the process. Now he just goes on Twitter, and he stays on Twitter all day, every day, dashing off little thoughts and impressions, scoring tiny little points against strangers in cyberspace, keeping obsessive track of his likes and retweets. At an age when he could be playing with his grandchildren, Kristol is glued to social media like a slot machine junkie in Reno. And after a while, of course, that distorts you. When you disagree with someone, it doesn't occur to you to pick up the phone and hash it out. You tweet it, hoping for retweets. It's depressing as hell. Kristol isn't the only one who does this, obviously. Washington is littered with formerly impressive people who now just shout and preen on social media. But I hate to see it with him.
Yeah.
That was an awesome takedown.
It was pretty good.
That was spectacular.
And it wasn't just colorful, it's on point. It's tweeting, not making arguments. It's virtue signaling, not making arguments. It's condemnation Olympics. I'm more anti-racist than you are.
Yeah.
You think you're anti-racist? You think you're anti-bigotry? No, I'm 10 times more of an anti-bigot than you are.
And I know Diamond and Silk didn't see, they were fine that Trump's attorney tweeted out a picture, saying, I'm not a racist. Look, I have black friends. I think that's
not what Michael Cohen said. That's not what he said.
Well, he
so
put a picture of himself with only African Americans. And he said that he's not a racist, and then put a picture. I just think that's. I would never.
Well, I don't
do that.
Yeah, the black friends thing is not a strong argument, and it's plaintiff, unnecessarily plaintiff. I agree, but he there's something he's saying there though. People don't make arguments to explain a position; they just virtue signal to tell you how great they are, and they're greater than the person also virtually signaling. And oh, by the way, if you're not part of the virtue signaling crowd, then you're part of the condemnation group, or the group that's being condemned. And this is where you get Mitt Romney and other Republicans, immediately surrendering in the face of the mob. Consume me last. That's essentially what they're arguing. And we have it at the local level, too. There's we'll get to this, the political cartoon, little controversy here in Illinois that is giving Democrats that Democrats are using as an opportunity to virtue signal about Chicago schools, despite the fact that they've lorded over them for 100 years and destroyed them and have relegated generations and generations of mostly black and brown children, certainly in the last 30 to 40 years, to second-class citizen status because they've never were afforded the chance to earn a quality education. And then they don't keep the neighborhood safe for those same black and brown families. And then we have the highest black unemployment in the country. And what do we get from the Democrat pals in charge? Virtue signaling about a political cartoon. And what do we get from surrender Republicans in Springfield? Piling on. Not a lot, but some. Pathetic. Pansies. The people that Tucker Carlson is talking about, including, to some extent, what Bill Kristol has apparently become. Thank God they weren't around at the time of Washington. We would still be paying fealty to the crown. Deborah in Palatine, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I think if you ask the general public, particularly young people, for any historical facts or, things that happened in the past, they wouldn't even know. They don't know their history. And so they're just like sheep. They jump on a bandwagon because it's Twitter or Facebook, but they don't really even know their history because they're not even taught anything anymore.
Everything's a selfie, like Henninger said. Everything's a selfie. I just want to be recorded as having been with the, this crowd, mob in some cases. Thanks for the call, Deborah. Isn't that true?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there obviously are independent thinkers out there, and there are people that are willing to stand against the zeitgeist if they disagree with it. Great. Is that the majority? Is that even a significant plurality anymore? Listen to Jordan Peterson. Look, you don't need to send Peyton and Eli to college. Just have them watch all of Jordan Peterson's YouTube videos. Okay. This guy is really he just kind of burst on the scene, in I'm sure not in academic circles, but to my knowledge, in the last couple of years since the whole banning the use of certain pronouns, criminalizing pronouns in Canada flap started. That has now, of course, made its way to California. But he is excellent. He's a psychology professor at University of Toronto. And he talked about this giving in to tyranny. Listen to what he has to say and what his suggestion is for people who are facing being silenced because they're not virtue signaling with the rest of the mob.
If you're being required to do things that make you weak and ashamed, then stop. Don't do them. Like one of the things I learned from Solzhenitsyn and Frankl was that Systems go terribly out of control when people don't stop them when they're going mildly out of control. You know, and you might say, oh, I should just keep my goddamn head down and shut up. It's like, maybe you should. Like, that's not bad advice. You know, you don't want to make unnecessary enemies, and you don't need any more trouble than you need. But you got to ask yourself on a day-to-day basis, what makes you think you're not selling your soul? You know, and there's so much foolishness going on in the mid-level bureaucratic world now. That's where all the tyranny seems to be focused. And the reason that it multiplies is because sensible people say nothing when they should say something. And what's so strange about that is that there are way more sensible people than people who aren't sensible. They're just not as noisy.
And but you know, Viktor Frankl, he's talking about Holocaust survivor, Alexander Solzhenitsyn, the Gulag Archipelago, two noteworthy intellects for those not familiar with them. But what about that? And what about what he's really getting to is history is always changed by the committed few for good or for bad. So decide which side of history you want to be recorded as having stood. A small band of bad people can change history tragically. Have we learned no lessons, even of the recent past? Frankly, around the world, even of the present. How big is ISIS relative to the world of the numbers of sensible people, including in North Africa and the Middle East and Central Asia? I really encourage people to take Jordan Peterson's words to heart. Dawn in Plainfield, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, and thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to say I think racism and sexism have many forms, but honestly, I don't think there's anything more demeaning or insulting when you are pandering or overcompensating to a certain group of people with motives that only bring chaos and division. So I know that the left is all up in arms over what Trump said on Saturday, over the violence in Charlottesville. I understand. But honestly, I'm not surprised. But what I cannot comprehend is how for 8 years, President Obama said nothing. He did nothing to address the violence and the poverty in his own hometown of Chicago. So, you know, the reason why Americans are so frustrated is the media only holds one side accountable and ignores the other. And no matter what you think about Trump, he exposes the motives of the left. One other Jackson you forgot about was Bo.
Bo Jackson. I would support.
Oh, that's right.
Thank you, Dawn. Bo knows parks.
Bo knows parks.
I like it. I would support a Bo Jackson park. Tom in Deer Park.
Hi, my comment was in regard to the local minister that wants to teach history by changing the name of parks of prominent figures in our history to pop stars, modern politicians, and charlatans. And you know what? He'll get his mission accomplished. I'll give you the example, to my mind, was a guy named Colin Kaepernick, who I never heard of. I'm not a sports dude. And overnight, he's a household name, and you're talking about him at the water cooler and over the dinner table. So that's what these, if you want to call it virtue signaling, I think that's what he's got in mind, this fella.
Thanks for the call, Tom. I think you're onto something. Kaepernick Park?
No.
Doesn't roll off the tongue.
I'm telling you, the ball is in Mayor Emanuel's court. There's going to be pressure from the African-American community for him to do something, to change the name of Washington Park and Jackson Park. So
Tiny Dancer Park?
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Scoundrels are not exclusive to politics. They're smart enough to occupy necessity service industries like the automotive business. As a real estate broker, my car is a lifeline and a total necessity to my business and my family, which is why I had to seek out an honest, truthful auto service provider. For over the past decade, I've put my trust in Craigies Mobile Service Center on Lake Street in Addison. Craigies handles full auto repair on foreign and domestic vehicles. They pride themselves on providing you the best cost-effective auto repair and expert advice. Craigies has full service bays and truck lifts that can service and manage your whole fleet. They also provide priority service for your business and can track each vehicle, alerting you to the repair before you need it, keeping your guys on the road. Since 1959, Craigies Mobile Service Center has thrived through 10 presidential administrations, giving you reputable, dependable, and honest auto repair. Do yourself a favor. Just go into Craigies on Lake Street in Addison. See my guy Vic. He'll set you up. Tell them Sean from Elmwood Park sent you. I approve of this message.
You know, just thinking of the Jackson Park.
Yeah.
I think you have to have 5 Jackson Parks. So you have to have one park for each of the Jacksons, or
Yeah,
nobody gets a park.
Because you left out Janet Jackson, and she's one of the most talented Jacksons of them all.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. Gentlemen, if you've been thinking about treatment for low testosterone, be sure to do your homework and go to a medical provider that you can trust that specializes in testosterone therapy. It's why I went to Low T Center to get my levels checked. It was quick and easy. And now they have a great new location in downtown Chicago right on the Mag Mile. That's Michigan Avenue, you know. If you've noticed a decline in energy, stamina, or motivation, you may have low testosterone. Low T levels make you feel tired and grumpy, can even raise your cholesterol and cause weight gain. At Low T Center, service is covered by most health insurance, and you find out your results in minutes. So, guys, if you've been thinking about treatment for low testosterone, choose my friends at Low T Center, now at the location in downtown Chicago on the Mag Mile at 625 North Michigan Avenue. Call 312-239-3427. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That number again, 312-239-3427, or visit them online at lowtcenter.com.
Did you know that the average family visits 5 websites before booking a vacation rental? With all this searching from site to site, it can take hours, if not days, to find the perfect place to stay. This is not the ideal way to start your vacation. Save time and money today by visiting Tripping.com, the world's largest vacation rental search engine. Vacation rentals are the perfect option for families, groups, and even solo travelers. They're more affordable than hotels, offer way more space, and come with perks like free Wi-Fi, parking, fully stocked kitchens, backyards, and hot tubs. And Tripping.com is the fastest and easiest way to find the perfect place for you. Simply type in your destination, and Tripping.com shows you all available properties from the top vacation rental sites, so you can search and compare listings all in one place. Visit Tripping.com to find the best vacation rental for your family. That's TRIPPING.com. To find a place to stay, go to Tripping.com today.
So you've heard about our friends at Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville. They're well known for excellent customer service, including custom designs and jewelry repairs by their on-site expert craftsmen. Their knowledgeable and friendly staff always ensure that you feel like family when you're at Roland's. And now they're offering a special family incentive for AM 560 listeners, 20% off jewelry repairs and custom designs. Just mention Dan and Amy and receive this exclusive offer. Roland's Jewelers has a large selection of beautiful engagement rings and is a direct diamond importer. So take advantage of the wholesale prices on quality loose diamonds, as well as fine jewelry from designers like Hearts on Fire, Simon G., John Hardy, and Roberto Coin. So don't forget to mention us, Dan and Amy, for a special 20% off jewelry repairs and custom designs. Visit RolandsJewelers.com or call 847-918-7300. Roland's, a family-owned jeweler you can trust.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I've had 10 major surgeries, including 3 brain surgeries. And I have extreme rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and fibromyalgia. And I wanted to let him know that his Balance of Nature have helped boost my immune system so much, because I'm on injectable medications for the rheumatoid, and they bring down your immune system. Since I've been taking Balance of Nature, I haven't gotten a cold, nothing. It really helped me tremendously.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
If you think all banks are the same, it's time to think about Signature Bank Chicago. I'm Pete Olson, head of commercial banking at Signature Bank, where the people who own the bank operate the bank. Not in an abstract way, but in the same hands-on, personalized way that you run your business. We don't rely on a legion of business developers to find new relationships. We don't trust an outsourced phone bank to address your customer service needs, and we don't delegate decision-making to some anonymous credit committee that you'll never meet. We do everything we can to help you succeed, because if you don't succeed, we don't succeed. Call us today to see the Signature Bank difference.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Coming to a park near you, the Michael Jackson Park.
Ann B. Davis's bowling ball tweeted, would the park with the most beatings and assaults be named Joe Jackson Park?
Oh no,
that's unfortunate.
Way too soon. Way too soon.
Also, Jefferson Park, we could go with George Jefferson Park.
Oh, yeah, and Wheezy. Oh.
You do a
It
terrible...
didn't play.
And the rest are the mammies.
That's not Wheezy. That's George.
That's the way life goes, Wheezy. Look, some people got to be the mams, and the rest are the mammies.
Love George Jefferson.
Sherman Hemsley.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
How to make better decisions under pressure. We're going to talk to a Navy SEAL who can help me with my golf game. His name is Brandon Webb at 7:37.
And later, severe injuries from manscaping? Dan will explain. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
74 degrees. We have a thunderstorm breaking out over parts of the Chicago area. We've seen those storms drifting across Wisconsin and now into northern Illinois this morning. We'll keep our eyes on that. As the mayor of Phoenix, Greg Stanton, says he's disappointed that President Trump is coming to town next week. The Trump campaign confirms the president will rally at the Phoenix Convention Center. Stanton is hoping Trump delays that August 22nd visit because our nation is still healing from events in Charlottesville. The president is blasting the media this morning and South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham over criticism about the president's comments on Charlottesville. Heather Hayer's mother has a message for the man accused of killing her daughter after he plowed his car into a crowd of demonstrators in Virginia.
They tried to kill my child to shut her up. Well, guess what? You just magnified her.
Susan Bro at Hayer's memorial service in Charlottesville yesterday. Vice President Mike Pence cutting his South American tour short as the president deals with the fallout over his comments about the recent violence in Virginia. The president's team, including the vice president, will huddle at Camp David. One of the snipers who terrorized Washington, D.C. nearly 15 years ago will remain behind bars for the rest of his life. Montgomery County State's Attorney John McCarthy said Lee Boyd Malvo was properly sentenced at his first trial.
The decision of Judge Greenberg today affirms that Mr. Malvo was properly sentenced to a maximum sentence available for his heinous acts, 6 consecutive sentences of life without the possibility of parole.
Now, you may recall Malvo, along with John Allen Muhammad, shot and killed 10 and injured 3 others during a tension-filled 3-week period in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. Governor Rauner using the Governor's Day festivities at the State Fair to blast Democrats for their opposition to his changes in a school funding reform bill. Meantime, in Springfield, House Speaker Mike Madigan is setting a meeting for next Wednesday when there could be a vote to try and override the governor's changes. Ford Motor Company agreeing to pay up to $10 million to settle sexual and racial harassment allegations by workers at 2 Chicago area plants. Settlement announced this week follows an investigation by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Police say a shooting suspect in Schaumburg has surrendered to them. Quentin Tillison was involved in a dispute with the suspect in front of Walgreens on South Roselle Road around 5:15 Monday evening. It's then when Tillison was shot in the abdomen. He died later at a nearby hospital. The suspect surrendered to police alongside of his attorney yesterday. That suspect's identity was not released, pending the filing of formal charges. Cubs beat the Reds 7-6 at Wrigley, and the Dodgers come back to beat the White Sox 5-4 in L.A. The News is a service of Boost Mobile. Switch to Boost and get 2 lines with 3 gigs of 4G LTE data per line for only $50. Plus, get up to 2 free LG X Power phones, all powered by the fast and reliable Sprint nationwide network. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save. 7:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next. on AM 560.
The founder of Black Lives Matter said white racist hate speech is not free speech.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Again, somebody stupid on the left, not understanding our Constitution, not understanding the First Amendment. Hate speech is protected.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-4133. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-4133. Again, that's 1-800-600-4133.
7:37. Let's get a check of the roads this morning. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim Telemonti.
Thanks, Mike. Traffic's very heavy now in westbound 8094 from I-65 to Klein Avenue. The Edens from Lake Hook to the junction is 29 minutes. Outbound 33. Kennedy, an hour and 12 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Quicker in the express by 10 minutes. Outbound, it's an hour to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, an hour and 7 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound, an hour and 3 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 9 minutes. 355 to the drive. Outbound, 59 minutes. Ryan, 37 minutes. 95th to downtown. Southbound Tri-State, heavy 120 to 176 and 190 to the Irving Park toll. Northbound Cicero to the Mile-Long Bridge from the Stevenson to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to past Irving Park. Reagan Tollway heavy from the Fox River to Farnsworth and 59 to Naperville. Veterans Memorial delays are from I-55 to Roosevelt, North Avenue to 290. Traffic service of Cece's, now at Cece's, party with the new stuffed crust trio. Bacon stuffed crust, a new grilled cheese stuffed crust pizza. Join the original pepperoni. The stuffed crust parties on the unlimited buffet for just $5 and change. Cece's. Prices may vary for a limited time only. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Clouds and sun, breezy, warm and humid this afternoon. We may break out in another thunderstorm. High 84 currently. 72 and a thunderstorm officially at O'Hare. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Radio Garden Sense, a show bringing your property's gardening needs alive. Radio Garden Sense, Sunday mornings at 11 on AM 560, The Answer.
More of Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy comes your way now. And make sure to join me, Larry Elder, tonight at 7, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So what can we learn about making better decisions under pressure? That matters a lot, not just in C-suites, but also in politics, because pressure is always being applied from every direction to get you to do something you otherwise might not be inclined to do. Well, perhaps we need somebody with military discipline to help provide guidance on the topic. Unfortunately, we have such a person. He's Brandon Webb. He's a former Navy SEAL turned a Navy SEAL sniper, I should add, turned CEO. He's got a new book, Make Better Decisions Under Pressure, and he joins us now. Brandon, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. It's good to be on the show.
So give us a sense of your transition from your military service to leading private sector organizations and what you've learned that you've memorialized in this book to help others to make those better decisions under pressure.
Sure. So, the inspiration behind my new book, Total Focus, is, I had gotten out of the SEAL teams, started a company, lost everything, my life savings shortly after divorce. So I really was at a low point in my life and career, but I drew on my experiences and the SEAL training, and really what we taught our sniper students when I was a sniper instructor was, is positive psychology, to always look, for the positive in adverse situations. So I really dug deep in myself and looked at how I could apply this massive failure that I had experienced in business and take all the lessons learned, apply it to my next company. And, I'd grown that to an 8-figure business and had a lot of success. So I wanted to share those experiences and experiences of my friends and their stories in Total Focus.
What was the failure?
I had a training company. I'd raised about $4 million, put a lot of money, my own money in it, and was going to create a law enforcement and military training facility in Southern California. It was a great business. It still is, but it as you well know in the show, it was California was not a very friendly political environment, and when we got our project approved by the county, we had an environmental group come in and sue the county for approving our project, and it just kind of blew up the whole thing, and I had to walk away.
Wow. So you suddenly had to start your life over again. How long did it take for you to get back on your feet, or to the point where you felt like, you know what, I'm successful now?
I had to take a job. So I got a job and was practical about it, but I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And I would say, it took me probably 3 years. And, it's funny, I have a lot of friends and family say, oh, you're so lucky. You have an airplane that you fly around, and you have this amazing life. And it's like, well, where were you guys when I lost everything?
Right.
You weren't calling me lucky then.
Right. The overnight success, years in the making, right? So
exactly.
It's interesting because Megan McArdle over at Bloomberg has a great book about this too. Sort of your experience as you're describing it, the upside of down. Why failing well is the key to success. So that obviously occurred with you, and so you have that setback. And so how did you go from that setback to building this $100 million plus digital media business?
I think people really need to understand the difference between quitting and failure. And, I had this goal to build a business. I know what my number is, what I want to produce, and have invested for my retirement, so my family is secure. And so I had this goal, and I said, even though I had this failure, I'm still not giving up. I'm not going to quit. And so I got a job, and I came up with a plan, and I started executing the plan. And I was writing on the side, which got me into blogging. I was passionate about it, and then started a veteran news site called softrep.com, and grew that into this digital media business. And we took our online business and applied subscription business to it. People thought we were crazy. And now today we have e-commerce as well, and we're not, as you guys know well, we still take a lot of advertising, but we're not reliant on the advertising industry to stay afloat, be profitable, and that's a really good place to be.
So President Trump is surrounding himself with generals, accomplished people, John Kelly, H.R. McMaster. Do you think that they'll be a positive influence on his presidency?
I do, and I see the liberal media really always focusing on the negative, and Trump has done a lot of positive things. The morale in the military has never been higher. You don't see a lot of people in the press talking about that. A lot of the business climate, the markets have really been bullish. I mean, it's so much good things that are happening, but it's easy to focus on the negative. And I talk about it in Total Focus on how to not focus on the negative and always look for the positive, even in adverse situations and failure, because there's always positive bits to focus on.
What about the challenge of assessing risk? So you take calculated risks that have some some chance of success. It seems to me that we have this in politics. Certainly, we do in Illinois with the Republican Party. Risk aversion, even when there's very little to risk except their own little perch. And of course, risk taking is necessary to be successful in business as well. So that dealing with that, how you assess risk and take good calculated risks.
And I think number one, what we're really missing in the political environment today is strategy. Like they focus on, a lot of politicians focus on getting reelected, but there's really no overarching strategy. And I use Afghanistan as a prime example. Like, nobody knows what we're doing in Afghanistan and what the benefit is of us being there. Right. And they haven't known for probably 10 years now, and that's a big problem. So, developing a plan, and then, to your point on the risk assessment, okay, what do I need to accomplish this plan? What are the risks involved? But having that plan is super important, and I talk about in the book having a life plan. And then, if you're starting a business or you're changing careers, okay, well, list the risks, and then address contingencies to deal with those risks. And in the SEALs, where people think, oh, it's such a risky job, it's actually, we do such a good job at mitigating risk that make it very safe, like skydiving, for instance, in the military. Mm-hmm. I would have probably 4 or 5 people check me out before I jump out of a plane. In the civilian world, to go to a drop zone and skydive, it's just some guy says, okay, you're ready to go, and he gives you a thumbs up. It's a very different environment.
Recently, President...
So the military...
Yeah. Oh, sorry, you can finish. Sorry about that. Recently, President Trump tweeted that he wants to ban transgenders from the military. Do you see that as a good idea? If you had experience with any transgenders in the military?
I did. I actually served with Chris Beck, who is now Kristen Beck, but decided to became transgender openly after his time in the SEAL teams. I think what people get confused is Trump is saying, look, not right now. We're going to come up with a plan, but we can't just, it's such a radical change to the current military environment that we just can't do it right now overnight. But over time, I think the transgender community will be integrated into the military, and I don't have any problem with that. I've served with people of all different race, religion, and the beautiful thing about the military is it's really a meritocracy environment, and you realize really quick that you don't care about this other person's.
Is it is it still a meritocracy? Because a lot of the reports about, for example, the Navy SEAL qualifying suggest that maybe it's not a meritocracy. Maybe there's a little social engineering going on to make political statements about, for example, women making it to Navy SEAL officer, even if they're not actually pulling the same weight that the men are.
So there, to be honest, there are always those political pressures where they're trying to jam something on the military community overnight, and I think that's exactly to your point about the original question and Trump saying, no at this moment to transgenders. It's not something you can just easily do overnight, and the military is really good at keeping a level playing field and resisting those political pressures that sometimes are jammed on. But at the end of the day, one of my things that I love most about the military was that you don't care about what the other person, religion or race is. It's about getting the job done.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean,
all that matters.
If they integrate transgenders, then Vogue will be there for the photo spreads for all of them. Brandon Webb, former Navy SEAL sniper turned CEO, successful businessman. His book, successful author as well, Make Better Decisions Under Pressure. The book is Total Focus. Brandon Webb, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I got another text message about renaming Jackson Park. Phil Jackson Park with the repeat of the three-peat.
Michael Jordan Park. If you're gonna honor 6 titles, then that's Michael Jordan Park. I'm sorry, the Jackson doesn't work.
Well, then you don't have to take down the signage. You can just, save tax dollars. Just keep the Jackson up. Rain right now, if you haven't noticed, some light rain, a possible thunderstorm in spots this afternoon, but we will have some dry conditions in a few hours here, a high of 84 degrees. Tonight, clear, less humid, a low of 65, and Friday looks great. It's going to be breezy. Sun, clouds, a high of 81. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Rain's making for a rather soggy commute, and we have heavy delays on the southbound tri-state from past 132 in Gurnee to 176, and then farther south from Toohey to the Irving Park toll. Northbound jammed I-57 past Kedzie with crash in the 2 left lanes. Then from Cicero to 31st, Roosevelt to Balmoral. Adams Tollway, slight delays, Meacham to 53 and lead to the tri-state. Reagan Tollway's heavy, Aurora Toll to Wiola. The Veterans Memorial jammed, I-55 all the way to 290. Edens is 34 minutes. Lake Cook to the junction, outbound the same. The Kennedy, an hour and 12 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound an hour. Eisenhower, an hour and 10 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, outbound an hour 15. Stevenson, an hour and 9 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound an hour. Ryan, 37 minutes. 95th to downtown. 8094 westbound. Stop and go I-65 to Klein Avenue. Jim Telemonte and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
There's a really good reason why MyPillow continues to be an important sponsor of our show. It's because our listeners continue to buy MyPillows. Now, I hope you're having a great summer, but if you don't already sleep on a MyPillow, August can be even better. By using the promo code Amy, you'll get the absolute best deal available anywhere. It's the 50% discount on a MyPillow 4-pack, including 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows. You can move the fill to give you the exact support you need, regardless if you sleep on your back or stomach. You'll sleep deep and won't wake up to a stiff neck or headache. Our friend Mike Lindell manufactures them in America using only American labor. The best part, you can wash them and dry them. They're hypoallergenic, and you'll get the 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. In August, get your 50% off the 4-pack by calling 800-489-0201 and use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
Depression. You need to make it go away. Cure or remission is here. The revolutionary treatment of TMS.
800-604-0208.
TMS therapy is drug-free and non-invasive. Here's how it works. There are areas of the brain that control mood. If you suffer from depression, research has found these areas to be underactive. TMS therapy uses safe, small magnetic fields, similar to those used in an MRI. They stimulate and activate these mood centers, causing long-term, medication-free relief. HBR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin offer TMS. End the frustration with life and relationships.
It's FDA cleared and it is covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare.
Dangerous drugs and other treatments just mask the depression. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation.
800-604-0208.
HBR centers. Go to endmydepression.com.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth, now heard regularly in 18 countries. What percentage of you listening to this commercial often say to yourself, what could I do to make more money, or how can we increase our business? I'm guessing that's most of you. Have you ever heard knock on the door and it'll open? Well, my friends at Income Store have doors you can open that can help you or your family make more money, or doors that lead to an increase in revenue for any business of any size. Income Store has 2 main doors on their website. These doors lead to over 2,000 revenue-generating ideas and products. Although a few of their products are pricey, 90+% of their growth formulas are delivered free or nearly free. Income Store's growth products and ideas have been publicized and featured on Forbes, Inc., USA Today, and recently the Biography Channel. Could your household or business use a revenue shot in the backside? Are you sick of your checkbook talking back and saying no? If so, you need to knock on the doors of IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Hi, I'm Lex Howard, CEO of Balance of Nature. I occasionally take new customer calls, and too often people tell me that they have heard our advertisements for years. If Balance of Nature is not currently being delivered to your doorstep, start now and begin experiencing the benefits of balance of nature in your life. Call and see how you can get your free month's supply.
I noticed a difference in the first month.
I got rid of most of my other vitamins. I feel pretty good, even though I'm an old guy, 77. I think it's doing great.
I just feel good. I just believe they're really what they say they are.
Good health is only a phone call away. What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to find out how to get your free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code CHICAGO.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. The storm season is here. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for sudden damage and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com. Millwright work is often technical and requires a high degree of precision. The pros at Vans Industrial are skilled mechanics that can perform any type of millwright work, including installation and maintenance of your factory equipment and machinery. For your machine repair needs, look no further than Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial millwright contractor that can install new mechanical systems or repair existing systems. Our services include repair of bearings, shafts, shiv alignments, as well as installation of conveyors and bucket elevators. Our team of trained mechanics will respond to your emergency calls 24/7, keeping your systems operational. We're here to help you.
Call 219-931-4881 today for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS industrial.com. Quality craftsmanship since 1964.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Mark Weingart, President and CEO of Star Creations, Inc., the fastest growing supplier of wall decor products in the U.S. When it comes to banking, I don't want to be a small fish in a big pond. That's why I bank at Signature Bank Chicago. At Signature Bank, every customer is important. I know I can pick up the phone and talk to any one of the decision makers I know and trust at Signature Bank. At Signature Bank, they understand and respond to the unique needs of my business with flexibility and fairness. I'm proud to bank with Signature Bank because I know they're deeply invested in the success of Star Creations.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The estimable Bob Woodson, founder of the Woodson Center, used to be called the Neighborhood Center for Neighborhood Enterprise Center, joins us at 8:08 to discuss predatory government policies, economic opportunities, toxic ideologies. You'll want to hear from Bob Woodson at 8:08.
And later, would you take in a homeless person if the government paid you? We'll be taking your calls. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, here are the stories we're following at this hour. A boy fatally shot in Jeffrey Manor identified. A Schaumburg shooting suspect surrenders to police. Chicago's son is charged with his father's murder. School start delayed in Country Club Hills. Cubs win a wild one last night on a wild pitch. The Dodgers rallying in the ninth to down the White Sox. Clouds and sun this morning, some rain in the area. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
A disgusting lie. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump tweeted this morning about what one of his Charlottesville reaction critics said, calling Republican Senator Lindsey Graham a publicity seeker for falsely stating that the president said there is a moral equivalency between the KKK and Heather Heyer, the woman killed in last week's Virginia violence. He also tweeted the fake news totally misrepresents what he says about hate and bigotry. That was at a vigil last night in Charlottesville. Hundreds marched carrying candles. They also held a moment of silence for Heyer. The mayor of Phoenix is urging President Trump not to go there next week. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
President Trump plans to rally supporters in Phoenix next week for his first campaign-style event out west. And that announcement has disappointed Phoenix Mayor Greg Stanton.
I'm disappointed that President Trump has chosen to hold a campaign rally as our nation is still healing from the tragic events in Charlottesville.
The campaign rally is being announced just a day after the president again blamed both sides for Saturday's deadly violence at that white supremacist march in Virginia. Phoenix's mayor said that he hopes President Trump's more sound judgment prevails and that he will delay his visit to Arizona. Dave?
John, more Confederate monuments are gone. A plaque for General Robert E. Lee has been removed outside a New York City church, but this man doesn't like it.
Part of our history is the Civil War.
Many disagree, including Virginia's governor. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has more live.
Governor Terry McAuliffe wants local governments and the state's General Assembly to take them down and put those statues in museums. He had previously said he didn't believe they needed to be removed, but changed his stance, saying they're a barrier to progress, inclusion, and equality in Virginia. Now, here in Memphis, there have been protests twice in the past week calling for the removal of Confederate monuments. Last weekend, protesters gathered at a statue of Nathan Bedford Forrest, and on Tuesday, demonstrators surrounded a statue of Jefferson Davis as well, Dave.
Tanya, in Durham, North Carolina, 4 people are now charged. Protesters took down a Confederate statue Monday. Fox News, fair and balanced.
72 degrees. Thunderstorms have cropped up across the area this morning. 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. An investigation is underway at the Cook County Jail after a loaded handgun was discovered in the jail. Gun discovered in a trash can Tuesday, triggering a lockdown for the majority of the day. Officials say it's been a few years since a gun was found in the jail. Chicago police are conducting a death investigation after a man was found dead in a burning building on the city's southwest side. Body discovered this morning in a vacant structure in the 1800 block of South Drake. Authorities blocked off the corner of Drake and Ogden for quite some time as investigators worked that scene. The identity of a 16-year-old Chicago boy who was killed on the basketball court has been identified as Kajon Thomas. Cook County Medical Examiner identifying the 16-year-old. Police say he was playing basketball with friends in Bradley Park when he was shot by 2 black men in a vehicle that drove off. Thomas lived in a different neighborhood and the motive is unclear. Police say the shooting suspect in Schaumburg has surrendered to them. Quentin Tillison was involved in a dispute with the suspect in front of a Walgreens on South Roselle Road around 5:15 Monday evening when Tillison was shot and later died. The suspect surrendered to police alongside his attorney. For now, an identity is not being released pending the filing of formal charges. A man being charged in the murder of his father in the Canaryville neighborhood, Chicagoan Donald J. McNamara Jr. is charged with intent to kill or injure and has been denied bond in the death of his father. Cubs over the Reds, 7-6 at Wrigley. Dodgers rallying in the ninth to knock the White Sox off in L.A. 5-4. The news service of Jewel-Osco. Shop Jewel-Osco and save on Del Monte personal-size pineapples, 95 cents each. Buy one package of fresh, boneless pork loin chops and get another one free. Plus, pour on the savings because a gallon of Lucerne milk is only $1.99, limit 2. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network. And a service of Turnkey.pro, here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, more people were shopping at Walmart in its summer quarter. Sales at stores increased 1.7%. Its online shopping increased 60%. Walmart's predicting business will continue to improve this year. Wall Street was expecting Walmart to make even more money in the quarter, though. LL Bean is responding to demand for its duck boots with a new manufacturing center being unveiled today. It hopes to make 750,000 pairs of boots this year. and to sell 1 million pairs of the boots next year. There's no clear message on when the Federal Reserve will raise interest rates after its minutes were released from last month's meeting. There's concern about tame inflation, but also concern that the strong job market could cause the economy to overheat. The Dow was up 25 on Wednesday. NASDAQ added 12. The S&P was up 3. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder explains what the president has done for the economy.
Just having a president who doesn't believe in imposing gargantuan rules and regulations to fight climate change. Just having a president who feels that our corporate tax rate is too high. Just having a president who does not want to raise the minimum wage to $15. That alone is a sea change. Just the fact that he isn't Hillary is a huge deal.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. If you're in the market to buy a home right now, you know how challenging it is out there. You're competing against cash buyers, so it's critical that you work with a reputable, established mortgage company like Quicken Loans. By getting pre-approved with us, sellers will know that you're serious and ready to close when you make that offer. Here's one more way to get the home you want. You could buy a $150,000 home with as little as $1,500 down with our 1% down payment option. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.19%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
8:07, a check of the roads now in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, the latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Edens is heavy. Dundee to Willow and Devon to the junction. 34 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. The Kennedy, an hour and 16 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 46 minutes from Montrose. 30 in the Express. Half an hour and 4 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and 10 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. 50 minutes from Manheim. Half an hour 15 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 9 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, about an hour. Ryan, 35 minutes from 95th to the Loop, southbound Lakeshore Drive. Heavy Bryn Mawr to North Avenue, 38 minutes Hollywood to Monroe. Northbound slow from the Stevenson to Jackson to Tri-State. Heavy Washington to 137 and from Castewie to the O'Hare Oasis. Northbound jammed, 159th past Kedzie with crash to the 2 left lanes. Harlem to 31st, Roosevelt to Balmoral. The other tollways are also very heavy. Westbound 8094 is stop and go from I-65 to Klein Avenue. Traffic answers when you need them. Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. And your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, a blend of sun and clouds. Breezy, warm, and humid with a shower or thunderstorm in the area. High 84, mainly clear, breezy, and less humid tonight, low 65. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560. The Answer.
73 degrees. Your next news update, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you sure your business is being seen online? Visit BeingSeen360.com to discover how being seen online can improve traffic, leads, and sales. BeingSeen360.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So on the continued fallout of Trump's comments in the wake of the violence in Charlottesville on Saturday, yesterday he disbanded, or depending on whose story you believe, they were internally disbanded, his business panels, his advisory councils, manufacturing council, as CEOs were fleeing them. Holman Jenkins writing in the Wall Street Journal today, Trump loses corporate America. But my question is, can you lose something you never possessed? And that's sort of what Holman Jenkins is getting to.
Well, yeah, and all the CEOs, they felt like it was more of a photo op than they actually accomplished something. When they'd have these meetings.
They weren't trying to accomplish anything.
It was just, yeah.
There's nothing to accomplish on the advisory councils. What they want is to be there for administration successes and to push their particular interests, like tax reform, for example. As Holman Jenkins writes, these are some of America's most delicate PR canaries, surrounded by risk-averse advisors. Yeah, you don't see a lot of courage from corporate boardrooms as a matter of course. Mr. Trump's administration turning out not to be the administration they were hoping for, though probably the one they realistically expected. Especially, he has not made headway on corporate taxes, the issue that brought him whatever benefit of the doubt America's CEO class was willing to give him. Remember, most of these people are center-left.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, so for all the railing against corporate America and CEOs, they're essentially financiers and fellow travelers of the center left.
Yeah, but and the left-wing media is saying that it's a very public rejection of Donald Trump.
Yeah, which of course is silly, but of course that's the D.C. press corps.
But the CEO of Campbell Soup, they were, social media was having a field day because whatever CEO didn't resign from these specific councils, whether it's a manufacturing or strategy and policy forum, they were being trolled on Twitter. There was a Campbell Soup sign, and then they put white nationalists underneath.
Yeah,
so
boo-hoo.
Everyone resigned.
Yeah, right.
They shut her down
because that's the
they don't want to lose business.
Yeah, that's the level of courage. That's the point. So if you're looking for courage or moral clarity from C-suites in this country, Fortune 500 C-suites, you're looking in the wrong place. And Holman Jenkins, who's no necessary fan of Trump, says exactly that. None of the departing CEOs likely believe Trump is a white supremacist or a Nazi sympathizer. They just see no upside to being associated with him. He points out the Under Armour CEO, Kevin Plank, perhaps indulged a greater honesty when he suggested his company belatedly remembered that it engages in innovation and sports, not politics. Oh, right. Mm-hmm. So the CEO's leaving. What does that portend with respect to Trump's ability to build the coalition he needs to advance economic policies, some of which I think could produce real economic opportunity? Well, for help in answering that question, we're pleased to be joined by Bob Woodson. This is one of the great things about this show, as I often say, is you get to talk to people whose work you've admired for a long time, but you probably wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to discuss with that individual. And Bob Woodson is one of those people whose work I've admired for a long time. His writings, he's been an intellectual mentor to people like Paul Ryan with respect to entitlement reform, welfare state reform. He is the founder and president of the Woodson Center. It used to be called the Center for Neighborhood Enterprise, for those who know of Bob Woodson's works, and it was appropriately renamed to honor his life's work. And with that, we're pleased to be joined by Bob Woodson. Mr. Woodson, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
I'm pleased to be here again.
Thank you. So why don't we start with your reaction as an entrepreneurial sort yourself to the business reaction to Trump?
I mean, I think they were probably looking for any excuse to bail out anyway, but they're not known for courage, as you said. But I just think that I'm not so sure what they were doing anyway.
Well, well, when it comes to Trump and the economic policies, perhaps entitlement reform policies you'd like to see him pursue, how do you bump those up against the week that he's had in terms of whether or not he's making progress towards seeing those things come to fruition, or he's regressing?
Well, I think that all of this attention, I think what you have here is a self-inflicted wound. I just think he should have stayed with his original statement and just repeat it and then go off. And what he has done is just created an opening for his enemies to attack him, so they don't have to. But because it was important that the center left in America is just using race as a bludgeon against anyone who would oppose them, and they are using race to just completely dismantle or attack anyone who has a contrary point of view. I'm a veteran of the Civil Rights Movement, and I can tell you that removing of those statues is the worst thing that we can do. We're trying to revise history, And the very fact that the Holocaust Museum is there for us to remember, and so we won't forget. And I think that those statues and all are part of our history. And I think, but the left is using them to attack not just Donald Trump, but also the foundation of principles and values of our founders. They're really, the agenda is much larger than even race. They're trying to just, I think, create kind of degeneration within this culture. And that's why what the Woodson Center is doing is going to push back against that. We formed a coalition of people, some center right, some center left, but primarily people who want to stop those that have hijacked the civil rights movement. It's been hijacked and used as a means of promoting an anti-American agenda, and so we're going to confront that.
Were any of your members in Charlottesville over the weekend?
No, we were not in Charlottesville over the weekend because we tend to not get involved in demonstrations and whatnot. People are using symbols to substitute for substance, real solutions. These politicians are talking with great pride that they're going to take down Baltimore, for instance. They took down 2 monuments yesterday in a city that has the highest black-on-black crime murder rate in the country. They're also gentrifying low-income blacks out of those communities. So not only are they removing statues, they're removing poor people from these communities. But as long as we can focus on symbols, we won't have to confront substance.
As for those of you who don't know, you mentioned it, but I want to put an exclamation point after it. So you are a contemporary of Martin Luther King. You marched with, you work with Martin Luther King in the civil rights movement.
At the same time, I was leading demonstrations in Westchester, Pennsylvania, and I worked for the National Urban League for 5 years. So I'm a veteran of that civil rights. I went to jail in fight for that movement. But what the movement that I fought for and in is now dwarfed into a race grievance industry. It is nothing at all of what it was. Someone once said, sometimes great causes degenerate. It moves from a great cause, then it becomes a business, and then it degenerates into a racket.
Mm-hmm. And so is the watershed moment, or at least as it turns out, looking back, Great Society and the big welfare state programs, where did the civil rights movement veer off into the wilderness?
I think when they embraced the poverty programs of the 60s, I wrote about this. I said that we fought low-income blacks. I split with the civil rights movement because many of those who suffered and sacrificed, like low-income blacks, did not benefit from the change. I fought against forced busing for integration. I said the goal should be desegregation and not integration. If people want to voluntarily integrate, they should, but public policy should give everybody the freedom to assemble and associate with whoever they please. But we shouldn't force people to assemble. And now the civil rights movement, it was a movement for inclusion it was a movement to be included into the American society, and now it's being used to exclude people. You've got these various identity groups, gays, women's groups. There are separate graduation ceremonies, identity graduation ceremonies on campus. This is not what the civil rights movement was all about.
Well,
it wasn't about that. It was about fighting for equal opportunity, leveling the playing field. It wasn't for it to be treated as some exception.
It seems to me, too, just speaking of K through 12 education, we're having this debate in Illinois right now. Of course, it's happened in other parts of the country. It's happened at the national level with Betsy DeVos's elevation to be education secretary, about choice at the K through 12 level, resources that provide choice for those that don't have the resources and otherwise force-fed into the neighborhood school. We know what the results are from empowering people with those kind of choices. We know it's disproportionately minorities that don't have those choices, particularly in urban centers. And yet where you hear from national, quote-unquote, teachers union leaders like Randy Weingarten is that choice is racism. I mean, it seems so the people that are being frozen out are people that individuals like you fought to extend opportunity to for inclusion, as you say. Now trying to include them is racism.
Absolutely. We're working very closely with Beth Feely, who is working with parents in Illinois, where some of those suburban school districts are being forced to embrace cultural competency, and students are required to acknowledge their racism and without any competition. And so, and also we're talking about the dumbing down of curriculums, doing away with honors programs because it's unfair to minorities. I mean, this is kind of the denigration of society in the name of social justice is one of the most dangerous things that I have seen over the last 50 years.
Well, then what
it's
about
really destroying America from within?
Well, what's President Trump's role in all of this? I mean, his comments on Tuesday, did he empower what you call the race grievance industry?
Well, he really did. I just think he should have, again, stayed with his original statement. But the fact that he went off message and just, unfortunately, that was not the place to equate those who were counter demonstrators with the Klan and others. There have been for instance, out in Berkeley, you had the alt left burning buildings and whatnot. A man in Dallas who shot 5 police officers when President Obama sort of parsed his words. He said, yes, we were against the violence of this man, but nobody associated Black Lives Matter with this killer. The way they are associating the man who ran down these people with the demonstrators there. But they didn't make that same connection. Unfortunately, as it was reported, Obama's caucus supported him in this, and Trump's made that unfortunate comparison. That was not the context in which to do that. There have been circumstances where the left has been really violent, like in Evergreen and Olympia, Washington. These students were chasing down other students with baseball bats in the name of social justice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I want,
but the press didn't cover that.
Yeah. I want to get your opinion about something as someone who lived through violence, racial violence, lived through de jure segregation, systemic racism imposed by the state. And now you see from Ferguson to Charlottesville, not it being imposed by the state per se, you see sort of de facto segregation being accepted. You mentioned the separate graduation ceremonies and so forth. Is that the left has figured out that culture is more important than the law, and the law follows culture. So if we can establish it culturally, we'll inculcate it legally. And where you see this country going, if we're going, if we're really regressing Ferguson, Charlottesville, these are not going to be isolated incidents. We're going down a very dark road.
We really are, and I think you stated it perfectly. But we've got to have an answer. Conservatives do not have a ground game.
Mm-hmm.
I said that if conservatives were fighting the Second World War and an invasion of Normandy, we would have had an Air Force and a Navy, but we would not have had Marines and soldiers. We got to put ground troops. That's why we're organizing what we're calling a free speech civil rights coalition that will organize various groups around the country that are fed up with being marginalized, with being denigrated. There needs to be a landing place, and the Woodson Center is creating its coalition, it's a free speech civil rights coalition, so that we can begin to bring people together to push back against this denigration of this country. But we can't do it by just offering counter arguments. the Woodson Center has a cadre of low-income leaders in all over the country who are restoring.
What? That was anticlimactic. Restoring is leaving us hanging. It's like you have to come back after the break to find out the conclusion to the Bob Woodson policy for resolving all the afflictions that we discussed. Anyway, he's Bob Woodson, founder and president of the Woodson Center. Somebody that you should check out. The Woodson Center you should check out. Get to know about his work if you don't already know about it, and because there's work going on, as he said, nationally. It's a national organization in scope as well as in terms of policy.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Yes, indeed. Summertime. Another hot one. Wait, gonna be a little bit cooler today. Back to hot. Gonna be windy. Maybe a thunderstorm mixed in for good measure. Up and down and up and down. The climate is always changing. Your company's heating and cooling system really gets a workout in Chicagoland. Be ready for anything this summer. Call Air Comfort and get your business's cooling system tuned up and running at peak performance. You see, the Air Comfort problem solvers can find small problems before they become big problems. Plus, proper maintenance will keep your system from wasting energy and money. Air Comfort will make sure your equipment is clean and obstacle-free. And if your chiller is about to or has stopped working, they can install temporary solutions to keep you cool while the long-term fixes are put in place. The key to keep your climate from changing is preventative maintenance, and Air Comfort can help. Schedule a comprehensive assessment of your mechanical system today. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
Hey, looking to secure or finance a new home or refinance your existing home? Then you need to do what I did and call David Hochberg, Vice President of Lending over there at Pearl Mortgage. Mark and Rachel contacted David to refinance the commercial loan they secured against their Buffalo Grove home to finance their business after their current lender declined their loan at the last minute. One of David's 15 mortgage professionals, J.P. Marzano, used the same exact information Mark and Rachel's bank used to decline their loan to refinance Mark and Rachel's home before their commercial loan ballooned. Let's review. Mark and Rachel's bank declined their loan, and David's team saved them over $1,800 a month. So don't waste any more time. Call David right now, 312-751-1333, or visit am560david.com. David has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but guess what? He can't help you if you don't call. 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee, 4358 NMLS 19186.
Investment advisory services offered through Goldstone Financial Group, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hey, would you buy a house without looking inside? Well, of course not. Shouldn't you be just as diligent when choosing a financial advisor? Hey, it's Sean Hannity here, and just as a house is more than four walls, well, a financial advisor is more than just a nice office. What's their background? Do they work in your best interest as a fiduciary? What's their financial specialty? You want to know all these things because the chances are, over your lifetime, you're going to trust them with far more than the value of your home, because knowledge and experience count for a lot in retirement income planning. Here in Chicago, you need to know brothers Anthony and Michael Pellegrino, founders of Goldstone Financial Group. Now, you've probably seen them on their show, Securing Your Financial Future, Sunday mornings on CBS 2. Call them right now, 800-620-9697. Start securing your financial future, 800-620-9697.
Does how you feel interfere with your lifestyle? Take control before it does. Harvard Medical recently published a paper on how to decrease your risk of cancer, heart disease, blood pressure, diabetes, bowel and vision problems. The answer, backed by dozens of studies, is not vitamins. It's eating more fruits and vegetables in their whole, complete form. 4 simple tips that I've used with my patients over the years are: 1. Keep fruits and vegetables where you can see them readily. 2. Get crazy. Explore the produce aisle and choose something new. 3. Make it a meal. Try new recipes that include more vegetables and fruits. And the easiest of all, to get the complete nutrition of 31 different fruits and vegetables every day, take Balance of Nature.
What are you waiting for? Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
use promo code CHICAGO.
If your roof is needy, if your roof is leaky,
call Grumweedy.
If your roof isn't right after it's stormy and shingles are curly,
call Grumweedy.
If your roof is looking needy, call Crumweedy. This is Mark Olson of Crumweedy.
And I'm Greg Olson from Crumweedy. We are a third-generation family-run business. We've been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953.
You really can't do that unless you do really amazing roofs. We share the same conservative values as you, and we really want to do your roof. Here's what you can expect.
First, no high pressure. You make the choice. Whatever option you choose, count on getting a roof that lasts at a fair price.
You see, application is really the key. We follow the manufacturer's specifications so your warranty is intact. You know, a lot of companies don't do that, and that could really void your warranty.
No horror stories here. The roof you need that will fix your problems. When your roof is needy,
call Grumweedy.
For your needy roof, go to myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
So what would you do? Would you house a homeless person in order to receive some money from the government?
If it would be like down and out in Beverly Hills, like Nick Nolte, or like a colorful homeless person, then maybe. Coming up at 8:38, we'll bring this discussion local about some of the topics we were discussing with Bob Woodson and others on K through 12 education, where the funding stands, as well as racial politics.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. We've had rain and thunderstorms across the area. Wind southwest at 10, 75 degrees at 8:31. And President Trump blasting the media this morning over criticism over his comments on Charlottesville. Mayor of Phoenix, Arizona, says he's disappointed that the president is coming to town next week. The Trump campaign confirms the president will be rallying at the Phoenix Convention Center on Tuesday. Democratic Mayor Greg Stanton hopes Trump delays his visit.
I'm disappointed that President Trump has chosen to hold a campaign rally as our nation is still healing from the tragic events in Charlottesville.
White nationalists and so-called alt-right groups are a collection of clowns, according to President Trump's chief strategist, Steve Bannon. Bannon also called them losers in an interview yesterday published in the magazine American Prospect. The Trump administration ending a program that allows children escaping some violence in Central America to resettle in the U.S. The Department of Homeland Security published a notice saying it's immediately ending the Central American Minors Program that began in 2014 under the Obama administration. Weekly jobless claims are down sharply. The Labor Department reporting this morning 232,000 Americans filed first-time claims for unemployment benefits last week, 12,000 fewer than the previous week revised total. Still no winner in that big Powerball. The Wednesday night lottery drawing was for $432 million. No winner. The jackpot now expected to go over the $500 million mark. Chicago police conducting a death investigation this morning after a man was found dead in a burning building on the city's southwest side. Ford Motor Company agrees to pay over $10 million to settle sexual and racial harassment allegations by workers at two Chicago area plants, the Ford Assembly Plant and the Chicago Stamping Plant. Cubs wrap up their four-game set with the Reds at Wrigley this afternoon after clipping the Reds in comeback fashion 7-6 last night. Dodgers score 3 in the bottom of the ninth to beat the White Sox 5-4 in L.A. The news a service of Napa Auto Parts. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, the Napa Legend battery comes with a prepaid Visa card worth $15 by mail. So start every drive with a Legend and save yourself some money with a Napa Legend battery. 8:33, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Mike Gallagher Show.
This has been a ridiculous few days in this country. It's sad. It's infuriating. It is heartbreaking. The loss of this young life was so needless and absolutely wasted.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, great coffee, period.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt?
Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? You should know. The credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people, they're A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-518-4020. 800-518-4020. That's 800-518-4020.
8:35. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy is a solid mess from Harlem to the Burnt Circle. It is an hour and 22 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 50 minutes from Montrose, 38 in the Express, outbound 52 minutes to O'Hare. Eden's 28 minutes, Lake Cook to the Kennedy, outbound 38. The Eisenhower, an hour and 7 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. 44 minutes from Manheim, outbound an hour and 2 minutes to Thorndale. The Stevenson, looking at an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 54 minutes. The Ryan, 33 minutes, 95th to downtown, I-57. 39 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop Ford, 29. Tri-State southbound heavy from past Tweed, the O'Hare Oasis, northbound I-80 to past Kedzie, Archer to 31st, and Roosevelt to the Adams Tollway. Adams to Reagan Tollways are okay now. Veterans Memorial stop and go. Boughton to the Reagan Tollway and North Avenue to 290. Southbound 53, slow Randy Kirchhoff. Lakeshore Drive, very heavy southbound Bryn Mawr to North Avenue. Northbound Hayes to 57th, and from the Stevenson to Jackson. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Clouds and sun throughout the day, breezy, warm, and humid, and that will lead to thunderstorms breaking out throughout the day. We've seen that this morning. We'll see it likely again this afternoon. A high of 84. Breezy and less humid overnight. Low 65. 73 officially at O'Hare. Next news update at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So in Springfield, Governor's Day at the State Fair yesterday, I was there.
Yeah, how was it? Did you bring me back my deep fried Snickers bar?
I did not. Sorry, I did not have
Why? Because it doesn't travel well?
Well, it doesn't travel well. Although with all the preservatives in that thing, it would probably keep for a generation or two. But no, I did not.
How was the fair? Did you go on any rides, Dan?
No, I didn't have time for that. It was a quick trip.
Did you judge the wife calling contest?
I did not, nor any
That's
of
my favorite.
Any of the animal husbandry competitions.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I do mean husbandry.
Yes, was the world's or the state's largest pig there? Didn't see that.
Boy, there's a joke in there somewhere that I'm not going to take. I'm just not.
I'm dangling the bait right here.
Boy, trying to walk me into an ambush, not going to happen. And so, of course, the main topic is school funding. School funding impasse that persists. Mike Madigan, the House Speaker, longest-serving State House Speaker in the history of the nation. Congratulations, Illinois. Nice work. He is announced that he will move to override the governor's veto, a mandatory veto, of the bill for that funds schools that the Democrats, Chicago Democrats, leveled up and passed and sent to his desk. That will happen next Wednesday. The Senate has already overridden the governor's veto. If they override it, then the Dems' plan becomes law. The governor's plan, his mandatory veto, if you will, so his plan, that's what I mean. Illinois State Board of Education scored it. 97% of districts in the state receive more money under the governor's mandatory veto than under the Democrats' plan. No school district loses money. There's just not the bailout for Chicago that the Chicago Democrats want at the expense of everybody else. So, and including, by the way, majority minority communities and school districts, Aurora, Waukegan, East St. Louis, that fare better under Governor Rauner's proposal than under the Chicago Democrats' legislation. And so it's very interesting to hear the rhetoric from the left. It tells you what their real interest is, and it's not what they say, of course. From the national level, Randy Weingarten, who's the leader of the American Federation of Teachers, she talks about charter schools and opportunity scholarships as, quote, only slightly more polite cousins of segregation. Yeah. She says the school choice movement, which was led in places like Milwaukee, one of the early adopters, by a black alderman who was Democrat, Polly Williams, in addition to Governor Tommy Thompson, the partnership they had. She says it has its roots in 1960s era racism. And this is relevant in Cleveland. I mean, I was thinking about other school choice programs. This is relevant in Chicago and in Illinois because part of the discussion that's happening between legislative leaders and the governor, it would include a tax credit scholarship. We talked about this on the show before. So if they get a deal done that obviates the need for the General Assembly to move to override and new legislation to be introduced, what have you, if they get a deal done, it could include tax credit scholarships, which is providing a fund that people can voluntarily contribute money to, and that fund, those funds, and they get a tax credit for their contribution, like giving money to a 501c3, giving money to a charitable organization. They get a tax credit for it, maybe 75 cents on a dollar, maybe dollar for dollar. All of this is in negotiation. And those funds are used to provide opportunity scholarships to low to middle income families around the state who currently don't have the resources to provide choice. This is not a laboratory experiment. This is how Florida introduced their school choice program under Jeb Bush. And what started out as I think a $25 million fund, a little more than a decade later, $600 million.
Wow.
So you've got people contributing, you've got families being able to access those scholarship funds and be empowered with those resources to choose the best educational opportunity for their children. And going swimmingly, except, of course, according to the teachers union down there, and it's the same thing here. And also superintendents, like this piece from David Larson, who's the superintendent of Glenbar Township High School, District 87. This is out in the western suburbs by me, Glen Ellen area, by where I grew up in Wheaton. These are the...
Did you say Glenbard West?
Well, the
Glenbard,
the Glenbard School District 87, the High School District 87, so south, west, east. So this is the suburbanites who like their local school districts and probably aren't paying much attention to what they've become over the last 20 years.
As long as they keep winning in football.
Yeah,
all
right.
they care about.
Yeah, right. So they're happy that they had the resources to move to Tony places like Glen Ellen and Wheaton and send their kids to good school districts. But some of them, particularly the educrats, like this David Larson, the superintendent, and you should let him know what you think. Because one of the reasons I got into politics was to take on thugs like David Larson, who want to preclude equal opportunity for kids that come from low to middle income families. And I say low to middle income, the middle income families in this state and in this country that are getting squeezed from every direction, getting very little help from a government they finance. It's disgraceful. And what's happening with confiscatory tax policy, as Reverend Robert Sirico argues, the founder of the Acton Institute, president of the Acton Institute, confiscatory tax policy precludes choice. It's a government taking. You're sending your kids to a private school, whether it's denominational or not, but because your taxes are so high, particularly in Illinois, your property taxes to finance profligate spending at the K through 12 level, you can't afford to do it. That's a taking. That's the government taking away your choice. And those arguing, as we were talking about with Bob Woodson, those who are arguing racism are saying taking away a choice is not racist. Taking away somebody's choice that they're trying to affect is not racism. Giving someone a choice is racism. Right? This is the ministry of truth. Freedom is slavery. That's this crowd. Listen to what David Larson writes in this op-ed published in the Tribune about tax credit scholarships. He calls them school vouchers. Same. Opportunity scholarships. Same thing. Ideologically, school vouchers place a greater value on personal choice than the importance of equity, commonality, and public accountability. Increased segregation and the loss of common educational experience will erode the foundation of our unique and amazing democratic society, small d. School vouchers place a greater value on personal choice than the importance of equity, commonality, and public accountability. When it comes to the education of your children, are you mostly interested in sacrificing your children to the great God of the system? Or are you interested in their individual outcome and your individual choices that drive their individual outcome? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. So the people that are saying, I want to give and have avenues to provide choice for people who don't have the resources to make the same choices, to send their kids to lab schools like Tiny Dancer does, to go to the schools that probably more than half of the General Assembly. Arnie Duncan, where did he go to school? Barack Obama, where did Barack and Michelle Obama's kids go to school when they were in Chicago? Lab schools.
Well, they went to lab school.
And when they were in D.C.
Right there.
And when they were in D.C., where'd they go?
Well,
Sidwell Friends.
They're not going to go to public schools. It's a security risk.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Well,
nice
for the president's
rationalization.
kids, yeah.
Al Gore, Bill Clinton, all private school educated. Good enough for them, not available for you, because the system is more important than your individual child and your individual choice. That's what this commissar, I got to look up his salary, but I can only imagine the hundreds of thousands of dollars David Larson makes as Glenwood Township High School District 87 superintendent, and the $5 to $10 million pension he's tracking. But so he has
school's good. I mean, if you're the superintendent, you want your kids to go to that school. I mean, that's a great school.
Really? I know kids out in Glen Ellen that go to private school, that go to Catholic schools. So
you went to a Catholic school?
Yeah, that's right. So my parents sacrificed, so I had choice. So David Larson is fine to have everybody finance his millionairedom, right? Fine to use taxpayers for that, while he sits atop a suburban school district moralizing to people that don't have the same choices and will never see the guaranteed benefit levels this guy gets. Barbarian. Sophisticated, mal-educated, I don't care the credentials, barbarian. One of the first races I got involved with, by the way, on a related note, Steve Anderson, one of the ringleaders for the surrender to Madigan, the 15 Madigan Republicans, part of our Fire the 15 campaign, Steve Anderson, that surrender Republican, big government Madigan Republican from Geneva, he announced he's stepping down yesterday.
Oh, really?
He gone.
Did he give a reason why? Wait, does he want to spend more time with his family?
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want to spend more time with you.
Oh, the 15 surrender Republicans?
Yes.
Do
you have a list of them anywhere, by the way?
I do. There is, I think we're on the verge of a half a dozen who are not running again now. And you know why they're not running again? Not to toot the horn of my the political team I'm part of, but because we're holding them accountable for what they did, and we're going after them. And if you want your school districts to change, and if you want school districts, by the way, statewide, discuss this, statewide in the last 20 years, 74% increase in K through 12 spending, total spending, 6% increase in enrollment statewide. 12 times plus the rate of enrollment. That's what K through 12 spend is. And what's student performance? Flat. But we're paying for $5 to $10 million pensions for barbarians like David Larson. You want to start holding people accountable? We're doing our best to hold Republicans accountable, and switch them out. And it's happening. What about you? What are you doing in your community? And don't be satisfied that, Dave, we got good schools in Glen Ellen and Lombard, so it's fine, whatever David Larson wants to say. This guy's a racist. He's a racist. You want to start throwing the R word around? If you're telling me that, especially from the perch of a taxpayer-funded Post, that majority black and brown children don't deserve the same opportunities as mostly white kids in DuPage County, where I grew up, you tell me what you call it. Defending the system at the expense of generation after generation of poor to middle income kid, particularly poor kids, as you know, particularly in urban centers and mid-sized urban centers around the state of Illinois and around the country, who have been the primary beneficiaries of opportunity scholarships and choice around the country. Overwhelmingly, disproportionately minority children. So you want to have a conversation about race? All you hack Democrats presiding over a city for 100 years that doesn't educate children, mostly black and brown children, because that's 85% of the system, isn't it? And then doesn't protect their neighborhoods, and then doesn't provide any economic opportunity, as Chicago sports the highest black unemployment rate in the country. And you want to run around talking about Charlottesville like these virtue signaling hacks in Springfield did yesterday, condemning the racism, the white supremacism in Charlottesville. Fine. What else you got? I mean, that is actually pertinent to your job, where you have some control as policymakers in this state and in Chicago, in that city. You know, let David Larson and his band get away with this? Tim and Darian here on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, hi, Dan. Hi, Amy. My problem is with commonality. I don't want commonality for my kids. I send my kids to a Catholic school. And not only that, I'm paying for the commonality of my neighbor's kids, which is fine with me. I pay taxes, but I also pay private tuition. And I do that because I want my kids to have a better education, better in ways academically and also other ways. But I also wanted to comment on your statement, Dan, that the middle class is being squeezed. It's hard for me to send my kids to private schools. I've got 5, and I don't see how my kids are going to be able to do that, because as taxes go up and as these property taxes and so forth, dip in, I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to have the same choices I did.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Tim. Appreciate it. Hey, let's leave the show today with the words of Jordan Peterson, because they are really important in all of these issues that we talk about at the local and federal level. If we don't have sensible people speak up, then tyranny will take hold. And you think it won't come for you. It will come for you. It will come for you, Mitt Romney, surrender Republicans. It will come for you, the people that everything's fine in my little suburban enclave, so I'm not going to take on my idiot superintendent, David Larson. It will come for you if you don't speak up.
If you're being required to do things that make you weak and ashamed, then stop. Don't do them. Like one of the things I learned from Solzhenitsyn and Frankl was that systems go terribly out of control when people don't stop them when they're going mildly out of control. And you might say, I should just keep my goddamn head down and shut up. It's like, maybe you should. Like, that's not bad advice. You don't want to make unnecessary enemies, and you don't need any more trouble than you need. But you got to ask yourself on a day-to-day basis, what makes you think you're not selling your soul? You know, and there's so much foolishness going on in the mid-level bureaucratic world now. That's where all the tyranny seems to be focused. And the reason that it multiplies is because sensible people say nothing when they should say something. And what's so strange about that is that there are way more sensible people than people who aren't sensible. They're just not as noisy.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Schrank Smoking Gun is excited to announce their zero tax deal for all store-owned firearms, ammo, and accessories in August. The price you see is the price you pay. Plus, AM 560 listeners get a free box of range ammo with all firearm purchases. You already know Schrank's has Lake County's largest selection of new, used, and consignment pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, and full gunsmith services. And that in Schrank's humidors you'll find a great selection of your favorite cigars. But this August offer is huge. Zero tax on all firearms, ammos, accessories, and a free box of range ammo when you purchase a firearm. Find out for yourself why Schrank's is the firearm store generations of customers trust. Visit gun.org or call 877-662-4034. Like Schrank's on Facebook and keep up with Schrank's valuable series of employee product and service recommendations. Schrank Smoking Gun in Waukegan, your family-owned gun store since 1964.
Have some fun. Visit ChicagoRadioDeals.com for a fun night on the town. Grab your Sweet Caroline and make a date to listen to your favorite music. Direct from Branson, Missouri, Denny Diamond and the Jewels, featuring the music, of course, of Neil Diamond. Normally $76 for lunch and a show for two. It's only $39 at ChicagoRadioDeals.com. Or head downtown for some laughs, $22. That's it. We'll get you a pair of tickets to Comedy Sports Chicago. It's a unique blend of fast and funny improv comedy that's appropriate for all ages. This Laugh Out Loud show features two improv teams. They play games with a referee, and you, the audience, is in on it for a laugh out loud good time. Or this is your chance to get away and escape to Wisconsin. Find certificates for the Schuster Mansion Bed and Breakfast in Milwaukee or the Door County White Lace Inn in Sturgeon Bay. Check in every week for fun and adventure at ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
Today's IT department is more than just a person fixing your computer or protecting you from viruses and hackers. It's helping people, and that's what Turnkey IT does. Real people helping your business.
Hello, my name is Phil. I am a network technician at Turnkey IT. There's not a lot of IT companies that are 24/7. Some of them are just 9 to 5, and anything after that is a charge, or they just wait until the next day to get back to you. But here, if somebody calls in after hours, we're going to jump on it and try to take care of it as soon as possible. We're extremely well organized. We have a process for everything, and we do our absolute best to take care of everyone and make them happy and do whatever it takes to keep them happy.
Take control of your business's network and important data with Turnkey IT. You'll have protection against ransomware and have rock-solid backups in place no matter what problems arise. All of their plans protect against viruses and troublesome ransomware. Visit turnkey.pro today and be secure. Turnkey.pro.
Well, she's sitting curled up on my lap as we speak. Beautiful Bella's my long-haired Dachshund. She was thrown out of a pickup truck going 30 miles an hour, and she disappeared into the woods with the wild animals, boars and coyotes. About 4 weeks later, she just appeared as she was a mess. Her fur was matted. She scratched almost nonstop. My friend suggested that I